welcome back to the top six. Big transfer news for you tonight. Aubameyang may be back to the Premier League with Chelsea. Both Man United and Chelsea are going to go head-to-head for Frankie de Jong and are prepared to pay the deferred wages. That's led to a lot of confusion online. We'll explain what that actually means. Is there going to be a Šeško bid from Man United after Anthony Martial is ruled out of the opening of the Premier League season, leaving United with no recognized strikers ready or available? And of course, tonight we are previewing the start of the Premier League. It is back. Tomorrow night, Arsenal get us underway against Crystal Palace, but we're going to be giving you our title winners, our top four winners, I don't know what you call them, people that make the top four, a little bit on relegation, top goal scorers, flop of the season, and much, much more. So stay with us from now until the end. A brilliant panel tonight. Igao is back with us. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, Terry. Everything is getting ready for the first game, and All or Nothing yesterday got me a little bit excited for the first game of the season.
I bet it did.
After last year?
Yeah, because you know what? New season, new opportunities. Let's see what we can do.
I hear it.
There we go. We've got man like Patrick here with us as well. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Ready to actually get into you for your little Spurs segment, which I didn't go down too well, to be fair. But
Arsenal are clear. And we'll definitely get into that a little later on the show. We've got man like Kaz back in United tonight. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing very well, alhamdulillah, man. Yeah, United. That's what
There we go.
United. There you go.
Roy the boy is back in the house. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, happy and healthy and ready to get stuck into this preview, man.
I know, and this guy's a genius, by the way. Let me tell you something really quickly about Roy. Last night, we were walking around a pub last night after the Football Terrace live show, and this is what he was doing. We're going out to people, I had the calculator out. It'd say, give me a random number between 1 and 100. The guy would go 37 and go put 37 in. And then he'd go, another person would go, give me a number random between 0 and 100. They'd go 72. And then what Roy would do is say
2,664.
And bang, that's right. This guy can do more.
What?
Yeah.
What'd you do? What'd you do? Like 72 times, like 100, like 10 times by 7, and
we'll come back to it later.
It
doesn't. Yeah. We did some madnesses last night. We've got Dom Hassam on the show. He's coming a little bit later. He's just finishing prayer, and he will be with us live on the Football Terrace. So stay with us. If we hit 50, I'm going to make a rule tonight. If we hit 2,000 likes while we're live, I'm giving away 50 free memberships
50
for you.
Wow.
50.
Jeez.
I'm going to give 50
like the video, guys.
away, people.
5-0.
2,000 likes we need. Get that done now. 50 free memberships ahead of all the new member-only content. The first one will be out in the next 12 hours. But I want to start. with the big news of the last 24 hours or so. Very quickly, I want to touch on this. Here we go, given for Cucurella. Brighton said it isn't done. But of course, the confirmation has come out today from the likes of Ben Jacobs that this deal is going to be done. The agreement is in place. Brighton just want to secure the Levi Colwill deal before they officially sign off, i.e. the difference between a done deal and a completed deal on the Cucurella deal. But Chelsea are going to sign Cucurella. Thoughts on that signing, Roy?
I really like it. As in, I've said this like for a long time, and my fans don't really like it, but I don't really rate Chilwell that highly. I think he had a bit of a scoring purple patch before he got injured, so people sort of overinflated his ability because the depth was really bad. I thought creatively he wasn't that good, and then I've just never really been a huge fan of him. He was doing well, but in terms of as a player, I just didn't rate him that highly. But Cucurella is someone I rate highly. Like, he's versatile, he's great going forward, he's great defensively, he's technically sound. Like, I think he's a fantastic signing for us, and I think him and Reece James on the other flank, I think that's the sort of wing back power that we're going to need if we're going to.
So Cucurella is better than Chilwell. That's what you're saying, yeah?
Hands down, 100%.
Okay,
it's an upgrade. And
interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people don't agree, but I personally, when I look at the two players, I think Cucurella is clearly better.
You know what? When I first seen that, the first thing that came to my mind was not about the actual quality of the player or anything like that. When I seen the Brighton thing, I'm like, is this the first time Fabrizio Romano has gotten it wrong this bad? But then I seen more tweets coming out where it seemed like the agent was liking his tweets where he was saying confirm Cucurella to Chelsea, and the same agent of Cucurella is probably his source. So if the agent is his source, then he's not.
The agent isn't the source. Do you know what's gone on here? Chelsea have done this all summer. I've been talking about it for weeks. Chelsea look messy this summer because their new owners talk to the press too quickly. So, and that's not a dig. It was Chelsea that told the press that Jules Koundé was done. It was Chelsea that told Fabrizio and other journalists last night the deal was done. However, they were just a little bit that Chelsea got ahead of themselves in terms of letting the media know. And Brighton like, whoa. We didn't want to we don't want to complete this until we finalize Coolwell. Now they're not connected. They're completely separate deals. There's no paperwork on one of those deals that connects to the other. But Brighton want to get their ducks in a row before it's announced. I think what the new owners have been a little bit rash on is telling the press when things are done or where things are at and not held back. So a few journalists have been burnt by Chelsea. They've had their fingers burnt anyway by Chelsea this summer, but it is a very good signing.
It's interesting you use the word messy because a certain somebody used the word messy and was getting clipped. And so I'm just saying.
Yeah, I said it looks messy. I didn't say it was messy. There's a fundamental difference.
This is something about the Cole deal because as in I don't think it's at an impasse, but I just think they're sort of obviously they want to like they want Colwell, we want Cucurella, like that's pretty clear. But I think what they want to get the best Colwell deal possible before they sign off. So they want to sign him permanently with no buyback, but we want to either loan him, and I think it's heading towards a loan. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. But we definitely want a buyback in the deal.
You should listen to what Ben Jacobs spoke about on my show with him this afternoon. It's essentially Chelsea. The reason it slowed down is Chelsea want a fairly small buyback of around £40 million.
Yeah, 45.
But it's almost like a buyback that Brighton wouldn't be able to stop. Brighton are saying, well, if he absolutely kills it and is sensational, we're going to want a lot more than £40 million for him. So they're going to. I think that's where things are at. But there is some breaking news I want to bring right now. It's in relation to Chelsea. Now, Jason Burt from the Telegraph, very, very credible journalist. Hello, Dom Hassan, by the way. Welcome. And I know you've got new equipment. I can tell you actually look professional. It looks really good.
HD, man.
I know.
It's crazy,
Thank you, guys.
In fairness, though, now you've got a proper camera. You do look about 10 years older, mate. I'm very sorry to tell you that. You don't look as
Gary, don't disrespect.
And a microphone. I'm loving it, my guy. I've actually got that same mic in this room right now. But this is what Jason Burt has just put out in an article. Is that, and this flies in the face of what they've briefed before. Because Ben Jacobs said this morning that they're very unlikely to get Fofana and De Jong. Now, Jason Burt, very credible, said that Todd Boehly is prepared to commit to spending an astonishing £300 million for Chelsea this summer in a bid to land Fofana. They're in talks with Aubameyang, and they are still, if they get Fofana, looking to hijack Frankie de Jong. Chelsea could spend north of £300 million this summer. And if they had those, and I want to ask this question right now, I mean, I know we're going to get into them later. If Chelsea walk away with Fofana, Aubameyang, de Jong, Cucurella, Koulibaly, and Raheem Sterling, they are unmatched this summer in the transfer window, surely.
We'd have to challenge. I think with all that.
What did you just say, Roy? Say that again.
I love it.
I said presently constructed, I don't believe we'll challenge. But if we get that many players in, then we've got to be doing a lot better than last season.
Well, I agree. No, you won't be. Why I don't think you'll be challenged. You can't to challenge the transition period. You got to let the players settle in, play with each other, everything. You're talking about a Klopp's team who's been playing with each other for years. There's not much difference in like player changes. Same with City, a little bit more.
I hear that, but
you should be doing better than Spurs, though, in my opinion. if that's the case, because they've got a lot of players as well.
Because we got 74 points last season with the sanctions and injuries and all that stuff. So if you bring in £300 million worth of players, and I do think we very desperately need another attacker, but if you bring in £300 million worth of players, like we shouldn't have even got 74 points. You should have really got 85 if like what happened didn't happen. So if you add that much expenditure on top of that, like I'm expecting at least 85 points.
Nah, I can't see it, to be honest.
What are you bringing in?
So let's say
it's a big if as well. It's a big if.
This is completely hypothetical, but if we got Fofana, Cucurella, De Jong, let's say we get Aubameyang and add that to Koulibaly and Sterling, like,
and that new young baller that you just got.
Yeah, and even Carney as well, Carney Chukwuemeka. Like I feel like I don't think it's crazy to expect at least 85 points, a domestic cup.
You know what's real crazy, Roy? I'm gonna tell you what's real crazy. I've been trying to get you to say Chelsea will challenge for 2-3 hours, and I got told I'm running an agenda. And now you come on here and you say you're going to challenge.
Constructed. My
That's
argument was
the
always on
great
how
bit.
we are right
So
now.
now you're expected to challenge, but when I say it, it's an agenda.
No.
Okay.
You think right now,
I see.
the way we are right now, we can challenge just with Koulibaly.
Brother, right now, tomorrow, next week, if you're gonna challenge, you're gonna challenge. It's as simple as that. Koulibaly,
bro.
Sterling, the players you've signed are good enough. You have
players.
Two players.
You know? Can I add on to that as well, Roy? Then if you get about 85 points, that means Liverpool should be getting about 90 odd points. Maybe City should be doing that as well. So how many points can really be shared for the top three? Is there going to be a massive gap? Is that what you're basically saying then?
As in, like, I'm not really.
I can't see it being that tight.
I don't think it's about points, though. I mean, the thing with points is
it's not.
Yes, idealistically, you've got if you're 20 points behind, well, you're 19 points behind City, you've got to gain that next year. But City might be 9 points worse in terms of their points total next year. So therefore, you don't need to gain that much. You just need to stay on their shoulders. Remember, you don't start the season 20 points behind. You haven't got to catch 20 points up. You all start neck and neck. I look at it this way. People are talking about Spurs having an outside chance of a title challenge. They're signing, if Chelsea land these players, and I know it's an if, you compare like Spurs signing Richarlison and Jed Spence and Fraser Foster, title challengers. Chelsea getting Koulibaly, Sterling, potentially Aubameyang. They're getting Cucurella. They could get De Jong. They could bring in Wesley Fofana. To not say they have to title challenge or could title challenge is weird when they've got one of the best managers in the world, a team that was tipped to challenge last year, has got to every domestic cup final since Tuchel's arrived. And in fairness, they were a few minutes away from knocking out the team that ended up winning the Champions League last year. They were knocked out by and they were actually the best English team against them in all intents and purposes. So I look at Chelsea, and I've been one person not writing them off all summer in terms of how well they're going to do. And this window, and that was the biggest thing, is are they going to spend that money? If they spend £300 million, it's ridiculous. Now, interestingly, on another one of the players that we were going to start on is Frankie de Jong. What's been reported by Laurie Whitwell and a number of other journalists this afternoon is that both Man United and Chelsea are prepared to pay the £17 million in deferred wages to Frankie de Jong. And just want to clarify, I know it's illegal. There are actually United can't pay Barca's salary for them. But what can happen is Frankie de Jong can leave without asking for any money, and then the new club just pay him a high salary. They're like the way people how people get like really panicky saying, well, a team in England can't play a Spanish team's wages. That's against the law. You don't literally pay it. You just pay him more money when he comes to you. Like how people need that explained to them is, remember, these people
are signing on bonus.
Bro,
spread it out over like 5 years.
Sorry, bro. These people are allowed to use toasters and everything, and their brains work like that. It's crazy to me. Plus, they can reproduce. It's a madness. But yeah, they're looking to pay them deferred wages. What do we all think of that? I mean, firstly, it looks like Man United and Chelsea are going to go neck to neck, head to head. They're prepared to pay this £17 million, which would give him a salary of £500,000 a week. Is De Jong worth that?
It depends, isn't it? How long is a piece of string? It depends what you really need. If Man United need that quality player that can conduct, dictate, get stuck in, and also can, basically start an attack, then pay it. If you really want the player, you've been after him all summer, then yeah, for you, he is worth it. It depends on the team. So it depends on who's looking to get him in, how long he's going to be at that team. For Man United, it makes perfect sense with the fact that Ten Hag is your manager. He knows him inside out, and he will come and literally elevate United. Chelsea, I don't know. I don't know if he fits their team as much as he would fit United's team. So I don't know from a Chelsea standpoint. But for United, I think it makes perfect sense. So just go and do it.
I think United are going to have to, at this point, if Chelsea are serious, you end up putting yourself in a situation where the player is going to have to pick sides. So if it means getting it over the line quickly before Chelsea come in and take him, I would just pay it. But at the same time, you understand that Barcelona are getting everything they wanted, and this whole negotiation period that you did was a waste of time, because you should have just basically given them the money from the beginning and what they wanted, because at this point they have you guys by the balls.
That's a good point, though. But to be fair, that's the whole point of negotiations. You don't know until it happens. And unfortunately, United it's like almost no one's flinched. Well, Barcelona haven't flinched. They've got all their players in. You would think now they need to get rid of him, but they're still not budging. So credit to Barcelona, man. They're driving a hard bargain.
What was the point? What was the point of going to Barcelona all this time, doing all these things? And if he ends up going to Chelsea, I get it, because they have Champions League football. But if he comes to United and you get your player, it's great. But all that negotiation time was almost for nothing.
Yeah, but
No,
that's
but
the
this
thing. You don't.
happens a lot.
On that, Igal. So you'd rather Arsenal never negotiate in case they lose a negotiation, just pay what the club asking originally.
That's it.
That's what you
No,
are.
no,
You are right.
No,
You are
I'm saying in this circumstance,
yeah,
it might be harsh.
okay,
but the
but
reality
it's
is,
not harsh. No, so stay on a second. Let me ask you questions. I get your point. You are right. If Man United, and this is the thing with any negotiation, if you spend all summer negotiating and you end up paying, in fairness, they haven't completely lost. If you go back originally, they wanted 100 million for the player. United are going to pick him up for around 30 million less. So they managed to get the asking price down by around 30 million. You're absolutely right when it comes to the deferred wages. He's currently on around 350 a week, and it's rising to around 450, 500,000 euros. Man United didn't want to pay that. They wanted to give him around 250, 300. If we end up having to pay the player more than we initially expected, we've only lost half the battle. Or you can argue we've lost 2/3 of the battle if we get him. We got 30 million off the asking price, which is a win. It's taken all summer, which is a loss, I would say. You'd rather have him for preseason. And then you paid the player more than you wanted to, which you could argue is another loss. But if we'd have just rolled over at the beginning and done all those things, we'd have paid 30 million more. Well, we would have got him earlier for preseason and would have given him the wages. So you're right to a certain degree, but you have to negotiate, don't you?
no,
Yeah.
you do have to negotiate. But Terry, once again, you said it from the beginning. You know what I meant. I didn't mean, oh, don't negotiate at all. You negotiate, but if you at the end of the day they get everything that they wanted, and you don't actually make that much leeway, what was the whole point of this whole negotiation period? You could have had the player in from preseason, and you could have maybe paid a little bit more, but at the same time, you're going to be paying similar to what they wanted in the first place, almost.
Well,
I'll be
Yeah,
real.
but that's how negotiations work.
Sorry, how is 30 million pounds only a small amount off?
How much how off were you guys a couple months ago?
Sorry,
How far were you guys a couple months ago? Not the beginning valuation, but like just a couple months ago.
what do you mean?
When the transfer window started, what was the fee that they wanted?
Over
They
100
wanted
million.
they wanted 100
Over
million, bro.
100 million. Okay. And what were you guys saying you wanted to give them?
60, 50. I think we started off with 55 million plus bonuses.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you guys met in the middle. That's great. So but what I'm saying is a couple days ago, what you guys didn't want to do was pay anything or get associated with the deferred wages. And now
Because it's not us,
because
bro.
another team has come in, you now have to find a way to pay him more money.
No, we don't.
Which you could have done a couple weeks ago. I'm
No,
not
we
talking
don't.
about from the beginning of the season.
I understand. I
No,
understand
wait.
that. So go on, Kev.
Can I jump in here? What makes you seriously think that Chelsea are going to come in and be like, I'm going to pay your deferred wages and give you the 72
No,
million that
I'm
you're setting
saying
asking price as well?
Chelsea right now are a better sporting opposition for him. That
Okay, yeah, fair enough that they are.
So
But
in
at
that,
the
in
same
that
time,
situation, if the player wants, for sporting reasons, wants to go to Chelsea over Man United, you can't fault him.
yeah, maybe, or maybe he might have his connections that he might know that he's going to get a starting place at United.
I don't
and be
think
loved and
Chelsea
stuff
are
like that.
better.
I
I don't think so. I think
Stop
United
it,
is a better
Patrick.
fit. No, I'm
Stop.
being legit. I do.
They might be a
I've
better
no ties to
fit.
either team.
They might be a better fit. The words you're using.
Listen, but you, Igal, first of all, you're discussing two different things. Are Chelsea are a better fit, and Chelsea are a better club at this point in time, and Chelsea are in a better state. Chelsea is better in all aspects than Man United at this point in time for Frankie de Jong. It's nothing against United. I just think Frankie de Jong comes into Chelsea, immediate starter, because you could tell last season Jorginho and Kante both were regressing. Their best midfielder became Kovacic. So Frankie de Jong slots into that double pivot next to Kovacic. Maybe they want to rotate every now and then. So I think Chelsea are definitely at a better state. And the thing is with the negotiation thing, this happens like for 2, 3, 4, 5 players, maybe once every transfer window. I still remember how long it took us to sign Thiago, and we only paid like 20+ million for him. So negotiations do take a lot of time, and 30 million is a lot of money, because if you factor in 30 million, that's possibly another transfer for Man United. So there's like a whole new player coming in. So I think negotiations, and number one, Sekigal, the reason why this specific one took longer time is because you've got to take into consideration where Barcelona are at right now. You've got to take into consideration the financial issues happening at Barcelona. And also you've got to consider the human element from Frankie de Jong, because Frankie de Jong is a Champions League quality player. He is. So maybe in his mind he's thinking, okay, what if City come in for me? What if Liverpool come in for me? What if Chelsea come in for me? He might be thinking that. So, you know, I don't necessarily think this negotiation is like, whoa, crazy negotiations at all. I think so.
Look,
I don't know, bro.
This whole thing with how long these negotiations have taken has been blown out of proportion for Man. I get rivals saying what they say, but if we're gonna have a real talk, United haven't held this up. it's been De Jong and Barca with the deferred wages. United have done everything they needed to do. I get where you're coming from, Miguel, with it was a waste of time. But if Man United would have crumbled day one, paid the 100 million, given the player 500 grand a week, and then Barca didn't activate these levers, those deals fell through, and then they would have been forced to pay him that money. It's the only way they'd been able to operate it. We would have been accused of jumping the gun and going too soon. So so it's one of those things where United were almost damned if they do and damned if they don't. We were absolutely right to hold on to a certain point to see where the direction that this deal goes in. But the more money that Barca generate, the more players that they land, the more of these levers that they sell, the more money they raise, less and less requirement is on them to get rid of Frankie de Jong, at least so for monetary reasons, which makes it harder to do. But I think to say negotiating is just a waste of time when you've saved £30 million on the player, I don't think is right.
Well, you've already agreed apparently with Barcelona with the fee. So once you've agreed the fee with Barcelona, the other parts should have been easy. That's all.
But they shouldn't have been easy.
I don't think it is.
If you read the story,
it's not because of Frankie himself. That's the thing.
And people have twisted it into. Everyone laughed the other day with the Chelsea links. Yeah, like he wants to join Chelsea over you. They're saying the same things now with Chelsea being interested as they were saying with United. The player's preference is to stay. When you start to read the reports now, I believe it's more about contractual obligations to say I want to stay, because if he starts talking about leaving, it'll make it a harder position to get his money. If Barcelona said to him right this second, listen, we'll pay you that £17 million over the next 3 years in installments, he would then start talking to the Chelseas and Man Uniteds formally about leaving. He's holding on. He doesn't want to walk away from that money. If he signs for Chelsea now or United now, he loses that money. So it's not been an easy and simple thing to do. The player saying to you, I'll be willing to join, but I've got to resolve this situation first is key. And all the key journalists out there have said that. They've all said the same thing. It's the deferred wages holding it up. So I still, to this day, the only thing where I think that United deserve criticism is maybe waiting too long and not looking at other players, especially if we don't end up landing him and Chelsea take him away. That's where it becomes a real painful one. It really, really does. I want to just say very quickly, I know we're going to come back to this conversation. I want to say a big thank you to Dan. He's gifted out 100 free memberships to the viewers. I'm not sure exactly who's been given the memberships. Too many names came up. But Daniel, my friend, thank you very much for that donation to the Football Terrace. It means a great deal to us. It really, really does. And if we hit 2,000 likes while we're live, I'm going to give away another 50 free memberships. That will push our members up to nearly 1,000 members on the Football Terrace now, which is amazing. So a big thank you to everybody that's doing that. Let's do some of these deals here. The deal will go through. Barca hijacked is pure BS. Oh, that did scare. Did you see that last night when Gerard Romero said that Cucurella's agent?
I've got PTSD, man. If I hear a Barcelona, my heart starts beating.
I bet you did. Thank you to Melvin for becoming an official member of the Football Terrace yourself. Thank you. Roy, be serious, man. That attack still isn't enough. Well, we'll get onto the Aubameyang bit.
I'll explain that later.
We're going to talk about Aubameyang. We'll get onto it in a minute. I thought Chelsea were finished with Roman when Roman if they spent £300 million, everyone that said they were finished, you need to just.
They said we're going to be like Liverpool, man.
It'd be mad. Going to be a great banquet, never mind a great meal, is what Dan says. Thank you very much. That's Dan that bought the memberships, by the way. This Aubameyang news came out of nowhere. That's our next subject, so stay with us. I'm so sick of Frankie de Jong transfer news. I hope he gets the Scottish League. I don't want to hear that name again. This is one of the most annoying transfers. Do you know what's annoying, though? It's because people have ignored the facts of the matter the whole way through. The story just hasn't changed for 6 weeks. And every few days you get he hates Manchester. He'd prefer London. He wants Chelsea. The next day it's no, he prefers United over Chelsea. And it's just the same people reiterating. It's like, no, it's all about the deferred wages. It really, really has been. Thank you to Redneck Blue, man like Alex, for becoming an official member. That means a great deal to us, my friend. A great show on any platform. Big up, guys. Let's get the likes up. Thank you again, Dan. It means a great deal to us. And if if only Arsenal had used the simple philosophy, they would have got Martinez. I hear you on that. Well, let's say with Chelsea before we move on to the predictions. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Igal, is now linked to Chelsea from fairly credible sources. They're in talks about taking him in. How good or bad a deal do you think that could be for Chelsea?
First of all, if Barcelona somehow get a fee when we gave it to him for free, that is an absolute piss take. I hope he leaves on a free transfer, because that would just show how bad our business was in January, getting rid of him on a free and not even bringing anybody in. We already knew it was bad because of the outcome, but that was just terrible. On the other side, I think it would be an inside job. I think Aubameyang would be absolutely terrible for Chelsea. Absolutely terrible for Chelsea. I think he's past it. I think we clearly see at Barcelona he doesn't suit the style of play that they play, and at Arsenal he wasn't working out the way that we played over there. But the fact that Thomas Tuchel has worked with him before, I get why he would want to bring him in, but I just don't know if this is a good move for Chelsea. I think he's better than what you have right now.
He's been banging the goals in.
One second, I think he's better than what you have right now, and he might be good. But once again,
I don't even think he's better than what they have.
I don't think he'll be good long term. I think he'll take
no, long term is not good. How old is he?
From some of your
even short term, I don't buy.
Realistically, I think
the options you have are better. As crazy.
I think if you bring him in, Barcelona have fooled you guys, because they brought in Lewandowski, gotten rid of Aubameyang's wages, and you've taken on his wages, and you're going to have another player you're going to need to shift off in a year or two.
Yeah, how much are you going to ask for?
I'm not really a big fan of it. Like Oba, Depay, I don't really want either of them, to be honest. I don't think either of them really make our attack into something a lot more formidable. I think because we've just got shit options, it's a case of is it better than, maybe it's better than what we've got. So
it's a short-term thing.
How are your fans going to take it when they see a player coming on wearing the Chelsea shirt with the Arsenal tattoo on his arm?
No, look, the thing is, forget the tattoos. Honestly, I'm taking it a level higher than Igal. I think he's even worse than the options they have, genuinely speaking. The reason why I say that is, look, you guys know where I'm from. People here, it's Barcelona, Madrid. Everyone just supports Barcelona and Real Madrid. I've got a lot of friends who support Barcelona. I've spoken to them, spoke to the people on Twitter as well who support Barca, and they really do not like Aubameyang. Like they were just talking about his goal scoring and stuff. And look, Barca plays some phenomenal football under Xavi. And I think for me personally, I don't think Aubameyang solves any problem Chelsea has. He actually makes them probably a bit worse in terms of their frontline players, because now you've basically got a goal-scoring winger in Raheem Sterling. If you add Aubameyang into the mixture, it's gonna be a little bit I don't really like that, because for me personally, I think they're probably better off getting a more complete player as a forward, as a striker. Sorry, I don't think Aubameyang is that anymore. And by the way, the Barcelona fans were complaining about his link-up play. They were telling me yes, he scores goals, but then he went back to missing sitters. His link-up play is atrocious. They don't like the way he plays football in general. If you as a footballer, they don't really like him. So me personally, I don't think Aubameyang is an upgrade. I think he's actually a downgrade on what they have. Genuinely speaking, if they think the striker market is absolutely horrendous, which I agree with, and I've said this from the start of the window, Lewandowski and Haaland are the only two guarantees. The rest is all risks from start to finish. I'm a Liverpool fan. Nunez is a risk. Jesus is a risk. Everyone's a risk. The only two non-risks are Haaland and Lewandowski. So if Chelsea want to wait, they'd be better off waiting, seeing maybe how Nkunku pans out, how someone like that pans out, or if there's a new name on the market. But I think getting Aubameyang is a massive downgrade for me, genuinely speaking.
Yo, and another thing, don't forget, Chelsea's attack in general have just not looked that fluid. They don't really work well together over the last couple of years. So regardless, they're going to need to bring somebody in before the end of the window. But if you bring in Aubameyang, have you really changed your issues? Because Aubameyang might be able to run in behind and offer you that. But do you guys play balls in behind for people to run onto on a regular basis? Or do you guys need someone who links up play and actually combines with Sterling and whoever you have on the right?
And also, there was a comment earlier about someone saying that attack isn't enough. So what I'm saying is, if Tuchel brings in Sterling and he brings in a goal scorer and someone he's worked with before in Aubameyang, I expect him to be able to get a tune out of them. And I also expect that he's going to coach more attacking patterns, combination play, in order to get a tune out of them. So that's what I mean, where I expect it's on him to get the most out of them. Because we can think, on paper it's not good enough, or they're both shit, they're both bad, But if you're as good as a manager as I believe you are, then you'll do everything within your power to make it work.
I'll be honest. I think Brozier's going to slap next season, as in for his ability. I don't think he's going to do 20 goals. But if you want to talk about going forward in the season, I'm a fan of Brozier or Broha. I don't know how to say his name correctly.
Broha.
But He's a Brohard. All right, Brohard. Then I reckon he can get you at least 10 goals next season, and he can build upon that. Especially if you've got Sterling or, let's say, for the time being, Mason Mount on the side as well. Like, I don't like Mason Mount in that front three, but he does get goals and assists when he's in that front three. If I'm correct, did he get 10 and 11 goals last season and like 10 assists or something in the league? That's not that bad. And I thought like Broja will just be lurking. Because you know what? Mason Mount did create quite a lot last season, and there's just nothing was getting buried. But at the same time, Mason Mount wasn't burying the chances either. For me, he's an 8. He should be in that 8. And yeah, Broja, I think you should just, when you think about it, who's really a good available number 9 today? You're gonna have to stick.
Ivan Toney, I'll get attacked, so let me not speak.
I think that's what
stop it.
I think that's what you end up.
Come on.
I think that's what you end up having to do though when it comes to filling holes. I think deals for players like Cristiano Ronaldo, expect that to maybe rear its head for Chelsea later on in the window. And Aubameyang, depends on the length of the deal, the salary that you're paying him, and how much you're looking to bring him in for. Man United are linked with a move for Ziyech. Now, do I want Ziyech? Not necessarily, no. If you could say right now, well, for £8 million, which is being the quoted price, to bring him in for £8 million is of course it's worth a punt, because it's better than nobody, and he's so cheap that even if you sell him the next year, you're not really if he has an half decent season and you still sell him, you probably double your money. Like, it's not bad. It's all about the price. If Aubameyang comes in on a 1-year deal with an option, or a 1-year loan deal, as an example, with an option to buy, then I think it's good business if there's nobody else out there for you. Because the worst thing you can do if you're Chelsea is Lukaku 2.0. The worst thing you can do if you're Chelsea is drop £70 million today on an unproven striker who comes in and doesn't do anything. You mentioned Ivan Toney. I think he's a good player. I don't think he is a lead striker for a top 6 club. I think he's a player that can come on from the bench and do something for you. So if Chelsea had signed Lewandowski this summer, and you were looking at Ivan Toney as a backup, 30 million makes sense. Brentford are asking for 50, 60 million pound. Aubameyang for 10 million is a better signing than Toney for 60, because it leaves you money for other areas that you can strengthen. So I do believe a lot of these things kind of work alongside each other, but Chelsea do need a bit more up front. But you mentioned there Broja. I think Broja is going to have a great year for Chelsea as well. They're saying about.
I hope he does.
Give Hudson-Odoi a chance as well, like a proper chance, not wing back, an actual chance on the right hand side.
Hudson-Odoi's had more than enough chances.
No, man.
He's been the youngster for the future for the last 7 years.
I know, but I'm a fan of the boy, man. Yeah, I'm a fan of him.
When Hudson-Odoi made his debut, I was still at uni, bro.
You know what's frustrating about what I find so frustrating about Hudson-Odoi is that he could genuinely be the creator that we're starving for, because he's such a good creative player, but he just hasn't performed well enough. And then
he isn't a good creative player.
He is.
I've never seen him.
That's nonsense. That's nonsense. If he was a good creator, he'd be scoring, creating you goals. He doesn't.
Listen, trust me.
No, profile. Listen, I use the word profile as well, but people misuse it. Hudson-Odoi is that
a creative player.
No, stop. Let me finish. Hudson-Odoi is that player in the playground who looks like the best player because he twines man up, dribbles past people, always wins knockouts. When it comes to a structured football match at the weekend, you're like, oh, he ain't as good as he is in the playground. I'm not saying he's a showboater. He is skills, tricks, and flicks. He passes the eye test every day of the week, but he passes the eye test with no end product. He is the guy in £1,000 clothes with a bottle of champagne in his hand who is living in his mum's spare room. There's no
Martinelli
to it. There's no real.
Leave Martinelli alone. Leave my star boy alone. Leave my star boy alone against Steele.
That guy's going to Liverpool in the future, man. Watch.
Saka to Chelsea then.
He's talking, but we can't hear you, Gal. You muted yourself.
Gal, you're on mute. Martinelli's coming to Liverpool.
I'm sorry. Liverpool don't have the facilities to sign any of our players. That's
wow.
We don't have facilities.
Gal, why do you keep saying that? Like
the reason why I say that.
We could take any player we want from Arsenal, Saka included.
Manchester City show that they have the financial clout to go and spend the type of money that it would take to take a player away from the top club. Liverpool have not yet done that, in my opinion.
How much did we pay for Darwin Núñez?
Who have Liverpool gone to and said, I want this player, I'll buy him for any means necessary? And I'm not talking about someone who's outside of the
Virgil van Dijk.
Manchester United have shown that.
But yes, they haven't done it to another top 6 club. But Liverpool have broken the world record on a centre-back, the world record on a goalkeeper, and they've broke their own record buying Darwin Núñez. What do you mean?
Okay, what's the record? What's their record?
What's the rest? You know how much
How
they
much
pay
is
for
Lewis?
that,
Like what?
Yeah,
Like
80,
I'm not
80
being
million,
funny.
80 million, 90 million.
right? Yeah.
They're gonna,
But
they're gonna have to break it
I-
again to try to get Bukayo Saka, and they won't do that.
Think
Why?
about it
We
though.
can
Look,
get
Salah's
that
like,
through-
how
Sorry,
old is
Kaz,
Salah?
Kaz, one sec. Sorry, Kaz. Sorry. Why wouldn't Liverpool do that?
We all know Liverpool, they would rather go and try to find the bargain deal than actually go and pay for the big name that's out there. Let's be
But they
honest.
didn't do that with Van Dijk.
Martinelli is not. First of all,
All knew
Martinelli
that.
is not a big name. That's number one. Number two, you're acting like Liverpool don't have money. That's the problem. Now you've switched your tune and said, "Oh, it's because they don't go for big name players." First of all, Martinelli ain't a big name player to begin with.
Okay.
Second of all, if you finish in Europa League positions this season, which we're gonna get into, and Martinelli gets a call from Jurgen Klopp, he's gonna be on a plane to Liverpool so fast you wouldn't be able to blink. He's gonna be wearing that Liverpool shirt. You're one
Wait,
sec. You're saying don't have the
Let him
facilities.
finish.
Virgil van Dijk, Alisson, Darwin Núñez. And by the way, realistically speaking, Martinelli is not going to cost that much money. Martinelli is not someone who's going to cost you 70, 80 million. I think 50 million and Arsenal sell happily. So that's in our price range. That's what we paid for Diaz. So
Listen,
And let me highlight something as well. Yeah, you said about the De Jong. Let's call it like this. Yeah, De Jong would rather go to Chelsea because of Champions League football and so forth and so forth. So
Okay.
what in the name, in God's green earth, yeah, would you think that Arsenal, also in the Europa League, wouldn't want to go to someone with Klopp, who's the guy who puts speakers on a training pitch and gets slapped by 4-0? Not just that, Klopp, who's a proven winner, he's a proven
Get him,
coach.
Cass.
Yeah,
Get him, Cass.
another. It's not even me waffling, bro. It's just like there's just levels to this. At Man
Okay.
United, there's levels to
Let me-
this.
let
They
me-
can dip their finger anywhere in Arsenal's line and be like, I want him as it goes. I'm gonna slap. And besides, he's got 2 years left on his contract. So next year, who said they don't slap another like 60 million? But like Saka, come, you're gonna replace Salah when
One
he
second.
moves on in about 2-3
One second,
years or
one
something
second.
like that.
1 second. Give me an example of Liverpool signing a player from another top 6 team.
Wait. They don't because they haven't needed to.
Hang on. Oxlade-Chamberlain from you, 60 million.
Oh,
No,
less
it
than that,
wasn't
innit?
60 million. It was like 35.
40. No, it's
40. Okay, but they got him from you. Sorry, I thought it was 60. Sorry. Oxlade-Chamberlain.
There you go. That's a good example. It didn't work
All
out so
right.
well. But hey,
M-
I will
Milner-
tell you this. I will tell you this.
Hang on. But you just
My guy.
Egal. Since Oxlade-Chamberlain joined Liverpool, what have Liverpool achieved and what have Arsenal achieved?
What has he achieved? He's won the Champions League. He's won the league, and he's won a lot of different.
He's won it all, bro. He's won it all.
Won it all, bro.
And both domestic
He's
and
won
overseas.
competitions.
One
Arsenal
of
is
your best
qualified
attacking
for.
players, and the only reason he hasn't played more for Liverpool is because of injuries, absolutely. But they took him away from you easy. That was before they even won it.
That was a bad example. I'll give it up there. Good job. Right? But let me bring it back for a second. My main premise of my point. I think it would cost around 60 to 50. I agree with Hussam, maybe, to try to prize him away at this moment in time. And to say if he improves, it would maybe even cost more. And we still have him under contract. I don't think Liverpool will actually come and meet our valuation. They would try to get the player on a free transfer. And if they don't get him on a free transfer or a reduced price near the end of his contract, I don't think he moves to Liverpool. That's the reality.
I don't think he moves to Liverpool this summer. Not this summer. Not this summer.
Not this summer. Next.
I don't think ever.
Maybe not. I would say this as well about when it comes to the price. Love or hate Liverpool, they get far more money in sales for their players than you would ever expect them to, and they always seem to get players cheaper than you would expect them to. Generally speaking, you'll always find examples where you go, "No, that was too much. I think that was too much." Whatever else. If they wanted Bukayo Saka next summer,
they couldn't afford him.
I think they could pick it. I reckon Liverpool, but this is the difference. What Liverpool would do, and they do it so secretively, is they would make the player fall in love with Liverpool. They would not even make it.
If it's one call from Klopp.
If Jurgen Klopp's on the front, if Klopp could turn Saka's head and make Saka want to join, Liverpool could get that price down to 78 million.
Saka's going to sign a new contract this year, Terry.
We've heard that for months ago. And
every single Liverpool
will
fan that's watching this right now, you will never sign Bukayo Saka if Manchester City.
We don't want him. I don't want him.
Guys, sorry, go back to that again, please, Gal, because we didn't hear what you said.
You will never be able to sign Bukayo Saka if you sign for a new contract. And
guys, stop interrupting him. Start again, please. Thank you. I can't hear it. I literally can't hear it. Sorry.
You will never sign Bukayo Saka at Liverpool as long as Manchester City are also interested and we have him tied down to a new deal, because you will never pay the valuation needed to get him away. And also, the only time I was actually worried that Liverpool might get him is if Mo Salah left. That's the reality.
Potentially, he'll be left back for City though.
mean, that's not really a win for Arsenal, though. Liverpool ain't going to get him because City got him instead.
Exactly. Like, bro, this is what I'm talking about. First of all, we don't want, the guy that we're interested in is Martinelli. Klopp has come out in a press conference for no reason and just picked him up. So I don't want Saka anyway. What is he gonna be on the bench for Mo Salah? So it's not gonna work anyway. I want Martinelli. Next season, Firmino maybe moves on. Something happens in the attack. Boom, we just sign Martinelli. And it just depends what you do this season. So please, but with all due respect, Igal, if we were on the football terrace 15 years ago and you came out here and you said Arsenal can sign Fernando Torres, I wouldn't have gotten mad because, yes, Arsenal were better than us at that time. So at this point in time, we're just better than you, and that's okay. So
you can be better than us. You can be better than us. You can be better than us, but you can't. You will never be able to prize Bukayo Saka away from us. That is all.
Because City will get him.
Either City will get him or we'll be able to keep him. And I think personally, if you ask me, guys.
So he's leaving anyway.
1 second. If you ask me, Bukayo Saka is not going nowhere this summer. I don't think he's going anywhere next summer. Reality, if we don't perform to the level that we need to, I wouldn't be surprised if he left. But at this moment in time, I think we're going to be holding on to our best players, and I think we're building something special for the future.
You are. I think you are, and we'll get onto Arsenal a little bit later. It isn't. Do you know what's mad? People conflate the two things because, again, a lot of people lack the ability to think. I'm not saying that Saka's even going to leave. I'm just simply stating it's nothing to do with Saka. I'm attacking your logic, which is Liverpool don't have the ability to sign any of our top players. That's the point I'm going after. Forget Saka.
I think they could, but they don't because of their business model.
Well, then, but you don't. Okay. I don't think Liverpool will sign him. He's very different from they can't because they don't have the facilities. There's a different statement, Igal. That's all I'm pulling on. I'm not actually.
Thank you.
I'm not actually worried.
They could have signed Haaland. They could have paid the 50 million, but they
could. You lost this one. You dug yourself a little hole there, just from context. Just a little bit.
You said what started this whole war is Patrick. He used Martinelli. I defended Martinelli, and then you said we Liverpool don't have the facilities. Don't have the facilities, and City are gonna get him are two different conversations. So. Do Liverpool have the facilities to take? Yes. Let me explain something to you. Liverpool, Man City, and you're not going to like this, but don't give a shit. Chelsea Football Club have the facility to take any player from Arsenal they want. It's just as simple as that at this point in time. And guess what? If United finish in the top 4, they immediately get that facility as well. So that's just how it goes. So please, stop. Igal. Honestly, Arsenal, bro, you're just not that guy anymore. I genuinely believe in my heart of hearts. The problem is maybe Klopp doesn't want him. We don't want to pay the money, whatever. But if tomorrow Jurgen Klopp wakes up and says, I want Bukayo Saka, he will be wearing that Liverpool shirt so fast, taking a picture at Melwood. You would make 5-6 videos on your channel in a row. How shocked you are. So let's not go there, man, because we are that guy. You're not that guy.
Guys, we're gonna move on slightly because we want to get to the predictions a bit later. I want to do some of these super chats here. Some of them I'm going to leave till later in the prediction side of things because they're more relevant for that. So I haven't ignored them. I think Igal is underestimating Chelsea, Aubameyang, and Tuchel. Aubameyang has played for Tuchel, and having Sterling and Havertz would be great for Aubameyang. I was called delusional by Igal for thinking Chelsea could get anywhere near 4th to 2nd. Tuchel's tricky blues are ones to watch easy, is what cab drivers got to say. Winter Surfer says Cho is crap. 5 goals in 5 years. Stop it, is what Winter Surfer says. Thank you to Colombian Spice for becoming an official member of the Football Terrace. Thank you. Cho is the CFC version of Donny van der Beek. All hype, no action. Igal says we don't have the facilities. Martinelli has been auditioning for us for 4 seasons. We signed Ox and have him a Champions League winners medal. Imagine Igal talking about reality is what Nabil says. Igal, you set yourself up for these traps by being too emotional. What makes you think Liverpool can't get Saka and Martinelli by the end of the window? Well, not by the. I agree. No, they're not getting by the end of this window. That is not happening. Igal.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Go address your midfield issue. Don't talk to me about signing my wingers.
Oh, wow, jeez, you're a gal's on one today.
Them shots back.
We haven't got the facilities to sign a midfield.
Not even a little smile, bro. Seriously.
Trying for a winger. Why? Not a winger, a midfielder. Why can't you get a midfielder? You're telling me you can sign my player.
There's no one in Arsenal that improves our midfielder.
Klopp is happy with the team. You're not going to win the league again.
Wait, hold on, Hassan. What did you just say?
Because of your lack of preparation.
I said no one at Arsenal improves our midfield.
Oh, I'm not talking about people at Arsenal, but there's people out there in world football that improve your midfield that you could buy for a reasonable price, and you don't do that. Why is that? Because you guys don't have the facilities to address all your needs. That is the reality.
There's a difference between don't have the facilities and club doesn't want to
where Manchester City are able to go out there and sign players and have the squad that prepare themselves for the new season. And this is going into what our predictions.
Okay, congratulations. I predict Man City to win the league as well. That has nothing to do with
Liverpool
having the facilities to buy someone.
The two go hand to hand.
Stop.
The two go hand to hand.
No, they don't.
Stop, man.
There we go.
Relax.
Arsenal are a serious club. They are building an exciting team. Saka, Martinelli, Smith Rowe, and all their players know that. They all want to stay. For now, definitely. You guys explaining how the Champions League is bad for FB.
Who's FB?
Who's FB?
For Facebook? What?
Yeah, I don't know what you
mean. Football banter. I think football banter, maybe.
Maybe. Terry, how comes Arsenal not on the poll? Yeah, I didn't put Arsenal on the poll to win the league yet because I don't think Arsenal are ready to win the league yet. And I know, and Arsenal fans aren't claiming they will. Still, that guy has won just one Premier League in 30 years, is what John C's got to say to you.
Get new content, man. We get it. 30 years, blah, blah, blah. If you're an Arsenal fan and you're aged 22 or younger, 23, 24 or younger, the last time Arsenal won the league, you were a seaman. So no one gives a fuck anyway.
I've seen my team win the league more than you've bottled it. That's
but Igal, you're old, innit? So it's different.
Gal firing back, my G, keep it up. Thank you very much for that super chat. Now, there is another striker that is on the radar, according to sources to Chelsea and Man United. Liverpool's name has been brought into this as well today about Benjamin Šeško, but the price keeps going up. I want to bring this up because Man United now have a situation where Anthony Martial is going to be out injured for the start of the season. So we have no strikers. Ronaldo's not fit, not ready, and Ronaldo shouldn't be starting even if he is fit after what his behavior's been like. The Man United now need to go out and get this striker signed. He won't be ready, of course, for Sunday. There's no way, shape, or form, even though the Austrian league has already started. But United have to go and buy another attacker now, don't they? I mean, otherwise, Martial's already showing him injury problems. We have no one else to play in that position.
How long is he out for?
It's a hamstring injury.
Like, just a game.
It might be a game,
maybe two.
But it just shows the squad. One injury, two injuries, and there's no one. Surely Man United have to go out now and buy somebody.
Yeah, they do. No doubt about it. But I don't know if Šeško is going to be are you going to try to build a striker for the future? I don't think it's a striker that we really... we do need one, but I'd rather us go get a winger, if anything. We lack a lot of that in that department. I don't trust Lango whatsoever. Actually, to be fair, I want to give the boy a chance. In my heart, I want to give him a chance. In my head, I don't. So, because I've seen enough. I don't think he's good enough on the left. Don't think he's good enough on the right. I don't really think he might be given good enough to be a utility player. If I'm being totally honest, I think there's better talent in the ranks. And if we're being honest again, he's only been in the United squad for how long? So doesn't mean another youngster can't come in and do better. You go on that logic, but it's not good enough. But we need to. It's not just one attacker. We need two. Whether it's Benjamin Šeško building for the future, cool. All right, fine. But how much? How much is going to prize him away? Because I don't fancy paying 50 million for a guy that I didn't even know about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And people are telling me he's a baller on Football Manager. So that's all I knew about the guy. And then I watched one game be Liverpool. He impressed very much in one half, but does he do that over and over again? I don't know. Maybe he just played his heart out for that one game to for his showcase. But we need a winger. We need a right winger at that.
This early in your rebuild, do you want to go for players to bring in? I don't know. Have you guys been scouting him for long? Could this be a panic buy?
Apparently.
Or are you guys prepared? Have you been prepared to look at him? Well, and looking at him for a while?
It's definitely not a panic buy because apparently we was actually looking at him about 2-3 weeks ago, and we've had more direct meetings with him and his agent and a club or something like that more than any other club. So they definitely have been scouting him. So that's something on the plus side for Man United. But are they going to leave it too late where other clubs come sniffing? And then it's like, okay, Chelsea want him again. So Chelsea just doing what Barcelona doing, sniffing for other people's targets. And be like, okay, I'll go get him. Champions League football need a striker. Havertz, nobody else. Broja. No, cool. We'll go get him. He probably thinks, okay, I'll probably get Champions League football time as well.
I think you're right, man. I think at the end of the day, the striker market is weak. We know this. If you can get a winger, they can add what you need, and you can go this season with Ronaldo and Martial and get it sorted out in the future. And you don't have to bring in somebody who's on the wages that takes up that striker spot that you might be able to address in a year's time when there's better options. That might be the best way to go about it.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know where this whole Frankie de Jong deal taking too long, frankly too long, whatever you want to call it. What else is there? I don't know. I don't know where this board. If we don't, I'm not joking. If we don't get that de Jong deal as well, someone needs to get sacked at the end of the window. Fact. And if we don't get anybody, and if we only get one signing by the end of the window, somebody also needs to get sacked as well. And maybe we can actually put a little bit of constructive criticism on Ten Hag as well, a little bit.
He hasn't been fully back, Kaz.
No, he hasn't been fully back because we ain't got his targets yet. But he's been. You can tell that the board are backing him though by just from what they're doing. They're going after what he wants. It's quite clear what they're going after what he wants. But he only wants, like, let's say, a de Jong and whatnot. And he's been maybe a bit naive in that target because he said, if I'm not going to get apparently, if he don't get the targets that he wants, he'd rather go and use somebody else and mold them into what he wants instead. So maybe it's a little bit naive on his part, but maybe he might be a little bit of a genius and it might work out. I don't know.
That's, you say naive, but sometimes the top managers, it takes these moments for you to really see how good they are. Like when Pochettino didn't get anyone in for a window and a bit, and then you saw him bring players through. Ten Hag is meant to have that ability. So it might be a blessing in disguise.
Maybe,
you never know.
But
you never know.
You know what the difference is? We're not Tottenham and we never have been. And that's the difference. Pochettino, like, he can expect that from Tottenham, like, to develop the players. This is Man United. Like, and reality sinking in quite fast for us as fans. And we can't keep talking about the past, and it's sickening to keep talking about the past, the past. It sounds like Arsenal.
Yes and no, though. Yes and no. Because do you agree that the club need to have high standards?
Yeah, of course we do. We always got to maintain high standards. But
let me just go through these questions. So you believe we to high standards? Should we be signing priority signings and not players managers don't want?
We should be. If you're going to bring in a manager and he wants to do what he wants to do, you do need to. At the end of the day, you do need to bring in his targets, but you should have more than one. You should have more than one target as well at the same time. There should be a plan B.
To a degree, the reason I say this is because 1 minute people say we've got to stop talking about the past and history, and the next minute they're saying we've got to bring back the level of standards that were here in our past and in our history. It's like history keeps repeating. It's like you can't get away from your history because
it's facts. Yeah,
Klopp and Pep are doing nothing different now at their clubs to what Fergie and Wenger were doing in the peaks of Arsenal and Man United in the Premier League. As an example, the standards are high. They bring in the players that they want. Man City last summer did not panic when they didn't get Harry Kane. They didn't go out and go, oh, shit, 60 million on Ivan Toney. They went, we'll wait till next year and we'll do it. Now, I know it's very easy when you're winning to behave in that way, but you have to start as you mean to go on. However, though, I agree completely about the frustration. I'm getting this feeling of, are we saying that if we don't land a number one target, we're going to wait because we're not willing to spend money? Is this Glazeronomics that we've seen before, or are we going about this in a different way? Man United normally, the first summer when a new manager comes in, they normally go big and they buy loads of players. That's generally speaking what they do. They haven't done it so far. I am so 50-50. Part of me says, well, it's different to how we've done it in the past, and we fouled that way every single time. So doing it differently makes me more encouraged. But then there is this part of me that says, I do not trust the Glazers. I do not trust this football club. And could things go wrong? We actually have an extract here. We seek permission earlier on today from Football Daily to play this. Actually, this is what the managers had to say about the signings.
It's about signing the right players, and so we are really planning it careful, and we are strict to that and hardworking to get the right players in to construct a good squad, who can win games.
Frankie de Jong, the right type of player. Can you tell us anything about that?
No, I can't. I don't talk about a player who is not under contract in Manchester United.
I just have one on Cristiano Ronaldo, because a lot of the talk at the moment is about what he wants to do. For him now, as great a player as he's been, how does he fit in with what you want to do and the style of football you want to play?
I think he can, but it starts with he has to get fit. He just started, and he's a fantastic football player. He proved it so many times. But you get always...
He goes on to speak a bit more about Ronaldo in there, but the first part was a bit that I was sort of focusing on, that we have to sign the right players. And I don't know, I'm literally like, I agree with him. And I'm like, yeah, let's just, if it means we miss out on a player that, rivals say, oh, you've got holes. I know we've got holes. I'm going to put faith in it. But I don't know about you, Kaz, as a United fan. There's a part of me that wants to believe in what he's saying, wants to trust it 100%, but I can't help but have a niggle at the back of my head that says it could go. This could just be the board saying we're not going to spend that much money as well. I'm so 50-50 with it. It's crazy.
You have to always relate that past, I suppose, because of recent, anyways, of how they've acted. But you're right. When a new manager comes in, he does get back. Look how much we pay for Maguire, 80 million. Have we even spent like 80 million yet?
No.
By any chance? No, I don't think so. But one thing though, I'm so glad Alex Telles has gone. Now get Wan-Bissaka out. That's all I'm saying. That means we're definitely going to sign a right back because Ethan Laird's going on loan. So I'm happy about that. So it's good to see a lot of the players that we didn't actually want go, but now we've got to replace them with some adequate, talent, you could say. But there's hundreds of players in the world, and I get it. It's only a few particular players, but surely there's another target that's like that player, or you can maybe dictate what you need and go for another player. Surely they can identify as a big club as Manchester United claim to be, which they are. But in terms of the backroom, I'm sure there must be another target that would be a right fit as well for what we currently need, and just shift the dynamic of it all.
What's happened with the Ruben Neves
I
links?
thought you were going to say Ruben
overpriced.
cheap, Patrick. Oh my God.
He's overpriced. He's way
Wolves
overpriced.
want 80 million, don't they?
They want like 70, 80 million, and they know we need a centre mid, so they can probably demand that. Do you get what I mean? They know we need that. But at the same time, why don't we? I don't know why we don't go for someone like Fabian Ruiz, the Zielinski with his last deal. I think he'd fit what Man United kind of need right now. I would like a Fabian Ruiz at Man United personally. I know he's a bit slow. There's questions of it, but his reading of the game is fantastic, and that's somebody I would go for. And he wouldn't cost too much, and he would suit what Ten Hag wants. And I just don't understand why we're not identifying what we really need in this Man United team is a DM. Not a centre mid. We got plenty of those. You just got Ericsson. You just got Van der Beek, and so Fred can do that role.
What DM would you get?
No, because you know what it is. If you put Neves there, for instance, Fred would probably be the perfect pivot around him. You get what I mean? But it's maybe not the perfect pivot for what Ten Hag wants. So I can't tell you. I don't know Ten Hag's brain, innit? We can only go on what we've seen at the moment and what systems he's played. I just don't know, man. Honestly, I really don't know.
I think
it's just stressful. It's getting stressful. I've been patient enough.
But I think the problem you have is the PTSD of it not working in the past. Equally, we haven't seen the team kicking. If we play well against Brighton this weekend and win our next game and look good, there'll be less stress. It's because we don't know how we're going to look. The one thing I would say, it's true though.
McFred. That's what's haunting me. McFred, it's going to space. McFred.
I get
reality is
Kaz. Listen,
I don't know how you're starting the season with McFred midfield.
I get that, guys. I get that. But you've also got to not play into rivals' hands here. I'm not saying they're going to be world beaters, right? But they were we have moaned that there's been no structure, no system, no training for a long, long time. Things will get better. We will be a better team than we were last year. We just will be, even with those two.
Of course.
I still think we'll sign somebody else. Do I want it to be a little bit quicker? Yes. Am I worried about it going wrong? Absolutely. But I can't just throw my toys at my pram and go, right. The reason I'm saying it is we're doing so many things differently in the first summer with a new manager than previous managers. I have to remain. There has to be an element of optimism within me, because if we're doing the same, because we're doing something different. That's all it really is.
Yeah,
but
that's it.
I am still scared, so I don't disregard people's fears because I get them. You
cannot be optimistic about Manchester United, but we can't be going into the season with the same midfield as we've had for the last 2-3 seasons.
We are though. Remember, that's the reality now.
I don't want to believe it.
You've got to change the word can't, because we are 100% kicking off the season with those two in midfield. It's happening. Wake up, this world of coffee. It's absolutely happening. It is. Let's have a little look at some of these comments. Terry's so fake. Standards, as you slurp up Martial 5 goals in 2 years. Kind fans once more with feeling, Glazers need you Brits. It's the weirdest comment to ever say about me, as if I'm not one of
Thanks
the only,
for the money then, mate.
As if I'm not one of the only Man United fans that pushes back against the Glazers. And I mean, when I say I actually push back against the owners, I know a lot of you have, I know that Igal's been cronky out, but he'll still go to the ground. Completely his choice, no issue with it. I'm one of the only Man United fans that don't give this club a penny of my money, and I'm very glad to see the announcement this afternoon that TeamViewer will not be renewing their sponsorship with us, which is great because I haven't used TeamViewer since I used to use TeamViewer for work. I stopped using it to become a Man United sponsor, and I told them that on their little their Google things. Until you stop sponsoring Man United, I will not be using your product anymore.
And I will now be Martial sold, right? At one point.
Sorry.
And you wanted Martial sold at one point, right?
Yes, I did. I mean, I don't necessarily want him here now. I mean, but if he's going to play for us and everything else, I'm supportive of that. Do I think he's the right choice for the future? Absolutely not. I think we need someone better. But if he's here, I'm not just going to cry every game when the squad's announced, because that's a bit. I'm not a 5-year-old. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those ones there. But thank you for calling me fake, my friend. I appreciate the super chat, my brother. I want to move on to the Premier League previews and start talking about what's going to go, because I kind of think we're like skirting around it with some of these kind of conversations. Viewers, make sure you're smashing the like and that share button for us. 2,000 likes, and we will give away 50 free memberships for you on the Football Terrace. I want to do some of these super chats first, though. This one here says, Dom Hassam, don't think I forgot the cooking I received from your FT war space. I'll come back probably one day, is what Mateus says.
There's no coming back from that. You were
there
silent
we go.
for like 30 seconds.
Do United still have the pool they used to have? No, of course they don't. You can't be failing for 10 years and still have that pool. You know, absolutely not. Man United do not have that pool anymore. Any United fan that thinks we does is deluded. Barcelona needed our money when they offered Frankie de Jong. Should have ripped them a new one from the position of strength to speed things up and use it as leverage for other deals. Their requirement has been damned. What TJ says. Jello says Fabinho, Thiago, Keita, Elliott.
Oh, you like that one?
Gal, Liverpool are fine in midfield, and if they are gonna buy new players, they will have to move some players on. Can't keep all of them. Thank you for that super chat there, my friend. I appreciate it. Man United signing players to sing the thong song. That's all. I don't understand that. Thank you. I don't understand it. Raheem Sterling, Suarez, Torres were all taken away from Liverpool. Arsenal and Liverpool are the same boat, acting big, one league in 30 years. A little bit of a dig there.
Only in your dreams can you become like Liverpool, Chelsea FC. You still need 100 more years.
There we go. So I want to start off with the first question I've got for you tonight regarding the new season, people. Regarding the new season. I want to go to Patrick first on this. Patrick, who is winning the Premier League this year?
Man City. Quite comfortably as well. I say comfortably. Maybe like Liverpool will still be a very strong challenger, but I think it's Man City's, man, and I don't think anyone would really disagree with that. They were solid last year. They've strengthened again. Calvin Phillips is a nice, tidy one that no one's talking about. He will definitely improve that midfield, especially with the depth. Haaland is Haaland. We know what he's about. So yeah, City are strong, and they will be.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie, Terry. I probably have City also, so I'm just gonna get it out there. I think City are a well-oiled machine, and I feel like there's a lot of changes happening at every team in the Premier League. But I just feel like City are still well equipped to go and recoup their sorry, I'm lost for words, to just win again. I generally just think they're gonna win it again.
And that'll be a three-peat, won't it? So yeah, then they start coming into scary territory. But
they're in the dynasty mode, man.
Yeah, literally. So
I've said this a few times now. I think people aren't asking enough questions about City. I think a lot of people are assuming it's sunshine and rainbows, and they've got a new striker in who they haven't been playing with a striker for a couple of years. So we have to see how Haaland fits in. And in Sterling and Jesus, they've lost their two most effective low block breakers, I call them, the ones who are going to be direct and dribble and cause chaos for opposition defenses. They've lost them, and now they're stuck with Mahrez, who's ball to feet, doesn't really run in behind. They've got Grealish, who's ball to feet, doesn't really run in behind. Like, I just think against low blocks, whilst I still think they will win the league, I just think people acting like it's a formality and they're going to win comfortably on all this stuff. I know you didn't say that specifically, Patrick, so I'm not talking about you. But people just saying like, oh, it's going to be an absolute cakewalk. Like, I don't see it. I think there's a lot of questions that need to be asked about City. And I rate Pep very, very highly. So, like, he will most likely answer those with flying colours, and they will, like, just ball out as they usually do. But I think with Liverpool, they've lost Mane. Okay, cool. As in, a lot of the fans say, like, he was poor last season, or, like, he only had, like, a few good months. And then they've got now they've got a striker in. So I don't really see as much change in their front line, because we know their defense is patterned. We know the midfield. That it's good enough. It's good enough to win this league. And now it's just a forward line where there hasn't been too much change. But with City, I feel like they've lost Jesus and Sterling, and they're bringing in Haaland. And then also watch out for Alvarez, because I think he could be one to watch this season. So I just think people aren't asking enough questions about City. I do think they'll win the league, but I still think it's going to be very competitive.
They have to lose Bernardo Silva for me to be asking that level.
Well, I think that's
if they lose Bernardo, Liverpool will win the league.
And Bernardo Silva, the bid is coming in from Bernardo Silva. A bid will be coming in, and a lot of City fans say no, we won't sell him. But they could have just come out. I mean, City could just kind of come out 3 weeks ago and made a public statement. No, he isn't leaving. They haven't. So
Yeah, Bernardo, he wants to go to Spain.
Yeah. Question I've got for everybody. I get City being put out there. Some of us think Liverpool. What about Chelsea or Spurs? And I throw their names out there because Chelsea, if they spend what they're about to spend, have to be, for me, the only successful Premier League season for them is challenging / winning the Premier League title. If they spend that 300 million, I am hearing a lot of Tottenham fans though. We had Ricky Sachs on the Football Terrace Live last night. Thinks Spurs have got a chance, and but this is the thing. A lot of Spurs fans think it, but they don't want to say it. Some Spurs fans are saying it. They believe with Antonio Conte, his league pedigree, the 6 summer signings, maybe one or two more coming in. There's a lot of Spurs fans that are feeling confident that they could at least challenge for the league title. Gal, can you see Spurs being good enough to challenge Man City and Liverpool for this Premier League title?
I think in order for Tottenham or Chelsea to challenge, there's going to be a lot of ifs. First of all, Liverpool are going to have to drop off a little bit. You're going to have Man City need to drop off a little bit. You're going to need to raise your level to a point tally around close to 80 to 90 points. Have we seen that recently from them? I don't think we have. Maybe Chelsea have gotten around 80 recently, but not Tottenham. And then when you go to Harry Kane fitness, you're going to need players to stay fit the whole entire season. You're going to need so many things to go right. But in my opinion, the next step for Tottenham and Chelsea would be get into that challenge rate, get in the mix, but not. I don't think they're going to be serious contenders to win it. First, try to get into that the mix to try to challenge. Then potentially next season you can go for the win. But I think they're probably a year away. If they think they're going to win anything this season, they're not going to probably win the league. They might win domestic cups or potentially even a Champions League or something like that. But that would be luck of the draw.
Conte's won 2 Champions League ties, knockout ties.
No, I was also including Chelsea in it. Chelsea just fluke Champions Leagues all the time, right? So
that's not true.
Well, he said fluke. He said fluke. He snuck that in there.
He's trying to, let me not bite. He knows it's not true.
No, but you guys know what I mean.
Harry, I hate to burst your bubble, but as long as Pep and Klopp exist, no one is winning this Premier League but Pep.
Oh, you haven't heard what I've said about Tottenham, and my bubble ain't pop, mate. 100%. I'm just asking questions.
I've bigged up Tottenham to the point of no return. I don't think they're going to be in a top 4 race. I think they'll be comfortably in there, with 6-7 games to go. But what I'm saying is, listen, I do not think anyone can win this league bar City and Liverpool. And the reason is, look, City and Liverpool have shown they can win 15 games in a row, 16, 17. They can go on crazy runs, which neither of the other teams have ever shown us. So until I actually see it, I want to be convinced that anyone can do it. Now, Spurs have made fantastic signings and stuff, but I'm not going to go all the way and say they're going to do anything. Crazily enough, it's been mostly Arsenal fans in my spaces saying they're going to challenge for the Premier League, which I think is absolutely ballistic. I can ask Roy; he's been listening to them. But for me personally, I don't think it's anyone but City or Liverpool, and that's how I look at it. And I predict City to win the league as well with a heavy heart, unfortunately, but that's just how I predict it. I don't think we've done enough to win this Premier League, to be honest with you. So yeah.
How about you, Kaz?
I think City win it comfortably still. Actually, no. You know what? Let me retract that. I don't think it's comfortably. If Bernardo Silva goes, I think that sparks big problems. But if Bernardo Silva goes, then they're definitely going to have a replacement ready in mind, and somebody that's probably already said yes. If that is the case, I don't think they get Paqueta. I think that's all.
I don't really
rubbish. You can't replace Bernardo with Paqueta. Maybe Paqueta is just an extra addition. I don't know. Maybe it's just his agent because he wants to move to the Prem and he doesn't want to stay at Lyon. I thought Liverpool will be obviously around. You're right, Hussam. No, everything that Hussam said was absolutely spot on. I can't disagree with that. And with Chelsea making more recruit, I think Cucurella, that's fantastic signing. You can play left centre back or left wing back, and I feel like they will get more signings if we're talking about not here and now, but the basis of what I feel will happen at the end of the transfer window. Then third, fourth third and fourth spot will be in a big mix between Arsenal,
We'll get
Chelsea.
onto that in a minute. We'll get onto that in a minute.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So
Save
like,
that. Just savor it.
okay. Yeah.
Savor it like that. Honestly,
Okay. Cool.
we're on the 4-player right now. Then don't jump straight into it. Bucharest, you know what I'm saying, brother? Look, I'm different to all of you. I'm picking Liverpool to win the league. I'm picking Liverpool, and the reason I'm doing that,
I hope you're right.
No, the reason I'm saying it is this: I think like too many people are writing Liverpool off, and they did that last year, and they came through. I think Darwin Núñez is going to be a star. I think Luis Diaz is going to go to another level. Could they do with another midfield player? I was a little bit critical earlier on in the summer, and I've sort of realigned my thinking. Really, I kind of feel like with City, especially if they lose Bernardo Silva, which I think they will, Cucurella not coming in, I've changed my mind a little bit. I think everybody's resting on their laurels. Winning 3 league titles on the bounce is very, very hard to maintain that level of motivation. I do think City are going to be brilliant. I do still believe that Haaland could break a goal scoring record. But we've seen players in the past have great individual seasons, break records in terms of goal scoring and not win league titles. I think Mo Salah and Luis Suarez have both done that in their time. I just think Liverpool, the way people are writing them off, the way some of their own fans are writing them off, Sam, and people like that, I feel like this will create a siege mentality, and I think they'll win the league. Not by 10 points, not by 5 points. It will be narrow, and it will be a very close run thing. But I think Liverpool will be hardened and determined after losing both the Champions League and the Premier League final last year. And I think they'll go on to a slightly new level this year. I think some of the youngsters that signed will do very, very well indeed. But yeah, I just feel like it's too easy to pick City. I think picking City is the simple choice. And because of that, I think it's going to get into that dressing room. And I just think it's going to give Liverpool this absolute slight edge in the race. Slight edge.
I'm never going to make this statement ever again. Well. I hope everything Terry just said is correct. And I hope everything I said is wrong. For the first time ever, I'm going to say this on the terrace and never again. I really, like, listen, it's the hope that kills you. For me personally, you know, I'm this close to giving up already. But you know,
already the season ain't even started. The season ain't started, bro.
Patrick, I've got a statement. Yeah, I don't want City to win. I don't want City to win the league. I hate that we have to be a United fan to choose out of this. But I'd rather Liverpool win this year than City win this year, due to the fact I don't want them doing a 3-peat in the Prem. But I can tolerate.
But you want Liverpool matching your title count?
No, I don't get. Look. Premier Leagues, if we're talking Premier Leagues, I don't care. But I can't have them doing a 3-peat when if we're gonna hang on to history, which I hate. Yeah.
Well, no,
I can't. I don't want.
Kaz, I know. Listen, you've got to stop this nonsense. Not that it will stop you being on the terrace.
I don't want to do it.
Don't do it here. You've got to not.
I don't want it.
You've got to stop being one of these fans that's putting down history. You know, because
I'm not. I'm not. It's everything. But
you just said like the 3-peat. Even I don't want to go on about it. Like. People that don't celebrate their club's history, it's mad. Why are you celebrating in the moment if you're not going to celebrate history? Your wins in the moment are for your history. You can't undo it. Like, I don't understand where this notion has kind of come from. But I agree with you. I would rather Liverpool win it this year than City, because although it means matching our titles, we got there first still, as an example. Liverpool was still
basically.
If we got 6 Champions Leagues, with Liverpool got 6 first. Doing the 3-peat is something that's so unique to us in the Premier League era. I don't want anyone to touch it. Because City might win 3, because then City might go on and do 4. And as long as they don't win it this year, they can't do the 4. Does that make sense? It means you've got to wait at least 3 more years before they can do it again, and Pep will be gone. So I don't want that to happen.
What would you rather?
Go on, mate, go on.
What would you rather? Liverpool do the treble or City do a 3-peat?
3-peat.
3-peat, come on. Like the treble.
Come on, that's huge.
Come on, that's a mad question. But no, yeah, again, but this is why I'm so sick of where my club is. I have to make the worst. It's like picking Brad Pitt or Jamie Foxx to take my missus out to dinner. I don't want either to do it. Do you know what I mean? But you got which one's going to be worse? Do you know what I mean? Like, shit, it ain't where I want to be. But that's our predictions. So we've got me for Liverpool. We've got everyone else's City.
Yeah.
No, I'm changing it now. Liverpool. I'm doing it now.
Come on, man. Be a man. No, stand by what you said, man. Come on.
Stand by your improvements.
All right, if we're gonna do this, then by the end of the transfer. No, I'm going for Liverpool. Yeah. I can't have it. It's Liverpool now. I'm changing my agenda.
By the end of the transfer window, we will do these again at the end of the transfer window. You can change them slightly because, as we all know, I mean, if Chelsea sign all these players and look really good, you might have a few to go, actually, I fancy it. Do you know what I mean? Spurs might look amazing. People want to flip-flop.
I'm
You
a
in the
official
Spurs,
flip-flop.
you in the Spurs agenda. You need to chill. What
You know
Spurs
Spurs
I'm
is
joking.
good, though. Is it?
Agenda, like,
Terry's got a
positively.
Spurs agenda.
Oh,
He
guys.
put out a 10-minute video about Spurs.
Now that the windows are actually starting to get further down and we're
Yeah.
looking back, is Spurs' window that great? If Chelsea go and sign Fofana and all those guys?
Yeah, it's
A
still a
lot
great window,
of
but
ifs,
it's
buts, and maybes. Our window has been good. We've got what we wanted to get in. Yeah,
The
we
best
still need.
window in the league.
Guys,
I wouldn't say- I wouldn't-
I've got breaking news, guys, about Cucurella.
What?
Fab's just tweeted exclusively that he's in
Again.
London as expected since yesterday, and he's now currently undergoing his medical test with us. It's the final step. Then he's waiting for documents to be signed between clubs, and then he's going to join us. Here we go, confirmed.
This
In
guy
fairness,
is
To Barcelona or Chelsea?
Don't do that, Hassan.
In fairness, Ben Jacobs said that on the football terrace at 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Hey.
Told us that-
Oh wow!
Your sources are better, Terry. Is that what you're saying?
Oh,
That
no,
is
can
dunked on
we
you.
put
Terry
no,
another
dunked
fact?
on you, Loki.
And my sources
Can we put
aren't
another? Oh, go on.
my sources aren't better. All journalists get briefed by the clubs at the same time. It's just who gets listened to the most. That's all it comes down to. It's crazy. But yeah, sorry, go on. What you gonna say, Kez?
I was gonna say we got to remember one thing about the title race as well. If this is where we move on from, is that we're talking about the World Cup, right? Salah's not going to a World Cup.
Big factor.
He's not going to a World Cup. Is Diaz going to a World Cup? Is he? I think he is.
No,
isn't he?
Colombia didn't qualify.
No, he's not. So they're gonna be fresh.
Yeah,
A few of them are gonna be fresh.
I think that plays a big factor into it. The next thing I
They're
want to
gonna be
speak about,
knackered. But yeah.
the next thing I want to speak about, sorry, is the top four. Like, who is essentially going to make the top four? I think we're all probably going to have City and Liverpool in our top fours. We all agreed on that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
Yes.
who is then going to make up the other two places. And I mean, I'm
Can
going
we
to
give
start.
positions as well, not just teams?
Yeah, I mean, you can just say what position you think the team's going to be in. Yeah, I mean, of course.
Yeah.
I think from my point of view, I'll start on this because my Spurs agenda has already been mentioned. I was really psyched about what Spurs were doing. I was like, oh, that's a really good window, sign these players. And the more I thought about it, the more I've reviewed it, the more I've looked at the way people are speaking about it, the more I feel like it's the biggest Fugazi ever. I just keep seeing Donny Brasco chatting to Al Pacino and talking about Fugazis and what Fugazis are. I know Conte's talent idea is amazing. I don't disagree with that. I think that he's I already said it. I think he's the second best league manager in the league. I think if it was just
Terry, don't be that guy, please.
no, I'm not being that guy. He's league.
His
No,
league
he's
pedigree is
fantastic
better
in
than
the
Klopp.
If you take, I
Terry,
tell you,
since when do we separate managers to league managers and
all the
cup
time.
Today.
All the time. Hang on. All the time we do it because we turn around and say things like Rafa Benitez become a great cup manager.
No.
Ancelotti is a great cup manager.
That is a
Ancelotti
saying.
is a great cup
Sorry,
manager.
Sorry, guys. I'm sorry to say this. That is a saying that has been said for generations. People go, oh, he's a great cup manager, not so good in the league. So I'm saying with Antonio Conte, I think he's a bang average manager when it comes to cup competitions. Knockout competitions, he has not done that well in his career. Look at his league record. It's astounding. So his league record is important when it comes to how his teams perform in the league. It has to be. You can, of course, you can separate it.
Yes,
However-
but you cannot separate it though because he's
Yes,
still the
you-
same
why not?
manager.
Of course
No.
you can.
Of course
Because
you can.
when Conte, bro, today I had the same conversation. When Conte manages in the Champions League, his name is not Contenino and he becomes someone different. He's the same guy. His name is
Of
Antonio
course,
Conte.
but-
Both
but
companies.
Antonio
Terry,
Conte.
let me just tell you why I disagree with the logic you have.
But there ain't no
Terry,
logic.
when
It's
he's
fact.
managing, he's the same guy, managing
Yes.
the same club. So
Yeah.
when you look at it, you've got to look at the totality of it. I can't go like Mikel Arteta is a better domestic cup competition manager than Thomas Tuchel because Arteta's won the FA Cup and the Community Shield. Life don't work that way. That's just
Yes, but
like
it does. It
statements
does
that are
work that
unnecessary.
way. It
But
does
it
work
does.
that way because you have footballers that are brilliant in the league, but they can't do it for their clubs, for their nations. You get players like Miroslav Klose and Luka Podolski, world class in a German team. Were they that good at club level? You get loads
You
of
can do
players
it with
and-
players, not
I
No,
managers.
you-
Closer
you can.
was a
Close
baller.
was a
though.
bad
Close
boy.
was a baller.
Close
He
was
a
a bad
bad boy. Mario Gomez as well.
I'm sorry, you can. You just don't like it because I know what you're doing. It's because his league record is better than Jurgen Klopp's, and you don't want any. And I'm not saying he's a better overall manager.
I don't think that's true.
Well, that's
I
he's one.
think
It literally is true, bro.
Numbers,
it's
numbers,
there to
not
see
However,
yourself.
guys, we're being
Numbers, not
we're
me.
moving on to another conversation. Of course, you can separate where people are good and bad. By that same logic, does that mean Antonio Conte is a world-class Champions League manager? Has he been world-class in the Champions League?
Antonio Conte is a world-class manager, full stop. I don't separate it into league manager and Champions League manager and domestic cup manager and man manager and who makes the best whatever. I don't care.
No,
Manager,
you do.
full stop.
You
That's
do.
how I look at it.
So it's just manager.
For
Okay.
players, I understand because
No.
international. No, but Terry, players are different. Internationally, you've got different teammates, different coaches, different everything. So when you come back to a club, it's different atmosphere, different manager, etc. For me, I will never ever say, "Oh, this guy's better Champions League manager, but this guy's better."
Because, so what you're saying is cup competitions and knockout competitions are the same as leagues. They're played in the same way.
No, I'm saying I take it in totality, everything together.
Of course you can, but when you overall rate a manager, you do totality. 110% agree with you. But if a manager is not that great in knockout competitions, but he's brilliant in the league, when you assess what his team's going to do, you separate the two things, because predicting a brilliant Spurs season in the league is different from predicting them doing well in the Champions League, because the manager's record in those two competitions are so vastly different from one another. We're not talking about rating him overall. I'm talking about his performances as the manager in the league, in my opinion, make him the second best in the league. However, we have digressed from my point around top four, which is, all that being said, I think Spurs are going to flop this season in the league.
And wow, oh my God, you can't write this. You actually can't write this.
I've caught up. I can, because I agree. I don't think it's even going to be solely down to Antonio Conte. And when I say flop, listen to what I actually said in my video. I said, based on the level and standard that I'm seeing from Spurs fans, the media,
some Spurs fans, not all, because all my Spurs fans are not saying all this Tottenham are going to win the league stuff. We're just saying.
Well, at least 30% of the Spurs fans we have regularly on the 60% of the three main Spurs fans we have on the Terrace have predicted title challenges and maybe win the league title this year. So I'm going with 60% majority here, right, of Football Terrace fans that come on. But I'm saying the standard that they're talking about is comfortably in front of Arsenal, comfortably in front of Chelsea, and I believe that's even that is over egging how much better they really are than those two teams. Arsenal will get onto it in a little bit. I just think Spurs are going to be Spursy again. I think they're going to be better than last year, maybe. I think they're going to play well. I think they're going to win games. But I think Spurs are coming fifth. They're not coming in my top four. Fifth.
Jesus Christ. Wow. Fifth. Wow.
Oh, so I don't believe it either.
Wow. So Arsenal, who have never finished above us in 6 years, now all of a sudden finish above Tottenham.
Yes.
Like, where's the logic in that? When
Tottenham,
it makes no sense. Sorry,
Tottenham, who didn't finish above us for 20 years, finished above us.
Yeah, but we're talking recently. Well, not 20 years ago. We're talking now. Like, you've not finished above us in 6 years.
Your logic doesn't make sense.
Of course, it makes sense. We're talking now. For the last 6 years, Tottenham have comfortably finished above Arsenal every season.
So
now, all of a sudden, let me land. So all of a sudden, now Arsenal, who Tottenham and Arsenal both had good windows. Conte's been here for the whole. Conte's been here for the whole summer, had a proper pre-season. It's not Nuno that come in 10 games and then he got lost. Kane is looking brilliant. He's in tip-top shape. He's going to start the season properly. His head's not in Manchester like last year. So you got all of these things, and then Arsenal all of a sudden are going to... No, it's mad. It's actually bonkers.
I'll give you my reason, though, because fourth place I'm predicting Chelsea, and third place I'm predicting Arsenal.
Wow.
And there's a comment here I want to read, because this is, again, beyond 1D thinking. Is Spurs better than last year, but fifth? The league table is a barometer for how good you were in that particular season. You can improve, but be lower down the league, because that doesn't take into consideration everybody else's improvements. So you can't assess one team in isolation in terms of improvements. I think Spurs will be overall next season better than they were for the overall season last year, and they may accumulate more points. But I do believe Chelsea are going to pull off a number of these signings, and I have a lot of belief in Chelsea and Thomas Tuchel, and I think they're going to have a very good season. And when it comes to Arsenal, I just think Arsenal are going to shock absolutely everybody. The feel-good factor, the way they're moving the ball, the way they're playing, just everything about the club right now oozes confidence. And I think they're going to go into the season. I think they're going to sign another player or two. They've had a brilliant summer in the transfer market. We've seen what they've done to teams in pre-season, and I just believe that will translate into the campaign. And I think Arsenal are going to blow some teams away this year, and they're going to blow a lot of pundits away that don't necessarily believe in them. So I'm not saying Spurs are going to be crap. When I'm saying they're flopping, I'm being a little bit facetious based on the standards I'm hearing from some Tottenham fans about title challenges and comfortably finishing in front of Arsenal. And when people say comfortably finishing in front of Arsenal, that to me is
10-point gap. I will say it right now. We will comfortably finish above Arsenal. There will be a 10-point gap difference between Tottenham and Arsenal. I don't know where you're getting all of this. Oh, Arsenal are playing well, moving the ball. It's pre-season. when it matters, Arsenal have failed. Newcastle last year got smashed 2-0. Tottenham last year got smashed 3-0. Yeah, they brought in a striker, but we still need to see what Gabriel's going to do when he's playing week in, week out.
Crystal Palace.
Yeah, so exactly. These are teams that we'll see what they do against Crystal Palace on Friday. Arsenal have
That's
improved
very intriguing because
on paper.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, on paper they've
I
improved,
can't
but
wait.
Zinchenko is an unknown entity when he's got to play week in and week out when the pressure's on him. So is Gabriel Jesus. Arteta is an unknown quantity at this level as well. Now that the pressure's on.
Let me just say one thing before Igal goes. Let me just say one thing.
Yeah.
Igal. See, first of all, I don't know why Terry said all that because Conte is a better league manager than Tuchel, so he should have Spurs in third. He should have Spurs in third place. Look,
that's how my logic works.
Terry, I'm just messing with you. Let it go. So
I actually think
I've got a
overall manager.
I've got a controversial opinion of my own. I think Arsenal's transfer window is overrated as hell. I think people are pretending that, they signed like 2 incredibly massive players from City who were starters. Like, the way that Arsenal fans been moving, you'd like think they signed De Bruyne and Haaland or something. When they signed Jesus, if you take away the hat-trick against Newcastle and Watford, he scored 3 goals in like the other 30 games. So I listen, Jesus, you get me? It is what it is. And the same with Zinchenko. I don't rate Zinchenko as highly as other people. I don't think he changes lives. And the third thing is, and this is the thing for me, I don't think Arsenal finished in the top 4 to begin with. I don't think they finished in the top 4. I think Arsenal finished 5th. I'm choosing Spurs and Chelsea to finish 3rd and 4th in that order. I think Spurs are going to finish 3rd comfortably, 10 points above whoever's 4th. If Arsenal finish 4th, I wouldn't be shocked. However, my prediction would be that Chelsea finish 4th. And the reason I just think I don't really look at Arsenal and go like, oh shit, Jesus and Zinchenko are gonna propel them to this next level where they're absolutely incredible. Because last year they didn't even have Europa League football. Now you include Europa League football in the mix. I've seen how it affects me negatively. Terry's seen it. Everyone here has seen on the panel. Thursday night football affects you extremely negatively when it comes to the league season, to the league. So for me personally, I think Arsenal's transfer window is overrated, very overrated in my opinion, because they've been acting way too strong with the signings they made, and I don't even think they're going to get top 4, to be honest with you. I think they're going to get 5th. So that's my honest opinion.
Can I go yet?
Go on, Kaz.
What I want to say with the Arsenal thing, I feel like we're underrating Chelsea's window. I think Chelsea will get a few signings by the end of the window. I think it'll be quite close between them and Spurs. Maybe finish 3rd or 4th. Who gives a crap? What a trophy. So, on that note, with this Arsenal thing, Conte is a way, way better manager than Arteta. He's been in the game longer.
League manager or cup competition, man?
Well, I don't know. Has Arteta been in a cup yet? Like
He's won the FA Cup, to be fair. So.
I mean, I'm talking about like in Europe. Has he been in the Europa League before?
Yeah, he bought the Europa League to Villarreal, bro.
Yeah, we got semi-final.
How can you forget Villarreal and Olympiacos before
the same year?
Was that? Yeah, that was it. That was it. Sorry, I don't know. So, but I don't think Arsenal as bad as you might make them out to be. I reckon they'll still be in the run for it. But I like what Patrick said. I feel like I think Jesus and Zinchenko bring is winning mentality. You think they're going to allow people to drop their standards below theirs? They're going to bring winning mentality. That's a big difference in their dressing room. And if you see any first 3 episodes of that Arsenal All or Nothing, is all he's trying to do is create, like a great dressing room, a togetherness, and it kind of looks like that from when you're looking from the outside in. But at the same time, it's only Zinchenko and Jesus. Like, this is the same. Conte's the same guy that won with Inter Milan, who ain't won a league title in so long, with Darmian and Ashley Young. Yeah, that's the difference. And I just feel like Conte would. I think they'll have too much.
Create togetherness by playing You'll Never Walk Alone, Cass. That's
I don't know, but you can see what it is. But see, with Conte, the difference is that he can work with lesser players that might not be claimed to be amazing and make them look solid. Same thing what Fergie kind of did with a few average players as well. It made them look solid. So I just think Conte is just. I think he takes more points off the big 6 than Arsenal will do off the big 5, 6, whatever you want to call it, because they did do that last season. And I feel like Spurs still have that edge regardless, because Arsenal only made 2 signings. What happens if Jesus gets injured? That front 3, again, you're just relying on Saka, if we're being honest.
Nketiah. They gave him number 14.
If Jesus gets
Oh,
injured.
whatever, man. Don't give me that. I think the key is. Don't get me wrong.
Give him number 14.
I get it. I get it. He scored 5 goals at the end of the season. I get it, but I just don't think he's the guy that's going to bring you over the line. I feel like
Let me ask you
and
this.
this ain't a thing on Man United either. So
How many more signings do you believe Chelsea's going to make, Kaz?
Well, other than Cucurella,
right now, yeah.
I think they get a centre back. I think they're getting another attacker. They're going to get another 2 or 3 signings, I reckon.
Okay.
And
how many more signings do you think Arsenal's going to do? Or do you think
I'm going to be real. I think you only get 1 at this rate. I don't even see you linked with anybody. 1. So, yeah.
Okay. So are you basing this based off the potential on who they could potentially sign at this moment in time?
It's not about based off the thing. You still employ Arteta, and I'll stick by what I said. I don't care what happens. I just feel like there's way better managers being way more experienced, and they just know how to get over the line better than how Arteta can. And it's true what Patrick's relevance. Last 5 years, like Spurs have finished above you, man, and there's a big relevance to that. And also Conte since Conte came in, is it only 3 points that they finished up? Like in terms of form, he won the most points. He was third or something, or second in the table, 3 points away, something like that. That's a big relevance.
Bro, I'm just going to say this.
With Ben Davies.
At this moment in time, there's a lot of good Chelsea news going around for players that they might be bringing in. But let me just remind you guys, at one point this season, they were supposed to bring in Rafinha, Lewandowski, Cristiano Ronaldo. They were supposed to get Jesus. They were supposed to get Richarlison. They were supposed to get Dembele. They were supposed to get Jules Koundé. It was done. So at this moment in time, we can only judge Chelsea on what they currently have. And at this moment in time, what they currently have, they're going to be bringing in Cucurella in. We're going to have to wait and see who else they bring in. And I'm going to judge the players and the teams based on what they have right now. Tottenham.
Let's do this, yeah. Their backline's better than yours already, currently,
as
we speak. Their wing back, no. Their backline is better. Thiago Silva, Koulibaly, and Cucurella, if you want to call that as a first centre back, is definitely better than your backline. Reece James, Chilwell's better than your fullbacks. I'm sorry, I'm having their midfield over your midfield as well. But maybe Odegaard. And also their front three of Sterling, Havertz, and Mason Mount. I'd rather have. I think that's equal to what you got right now with Jesus, Saka, and Martinelli. So on that note, you've only scored 50 odd goals. You scored 50 odd goals. Take away Lacazette's 3 goals assigned. You think Jesus is going to score 15. You still haven't scored more than Chelsea had last season, and yet they're upgraded. Technically, they've upgraded on their attack with Sterling, if you call it like that. So they've added more onto that goals like tally, if you think about it logically in that way. But I don't want to put a badness on Arsenal's name, because I feel like Arsenal will do good next season. I just like great next season. I think they'll be in the question of top 4, but I just think that Chelsea and Spurs will get over the line due to their managers and because of that and their squads currently as well. That's it.
Let me just stop. Let me just stop, everybody. I've been listening quietly. Let me just speak. First things first, right? There's not going to be a big difference between Tottenham, Arsenal, and Chelsea next season in points. It's going to be a point difference of potentially 4 to 5 between all 3 of us, similar to how it was this season, where you've seen us out all very close near the end of the season. I generally believe at the end of the day, there's going to be more factors, there's going to be more signings, but if I judge it right now, I still believe this Tottenham team has another gear they can go to, and I have them above both Arsenal and Chelsea, and I think it's between Arsenal and Chelsea fighting for that 4th spot. Don't forget, yes, we are in the Europa League and we're going to be playing more games, but at the same time that we're in the Europa League and we're going to be playing more games, we're going to be in a lesser competition where we don't have to play our first team players in the group stages, where Chelsea will still have to play a strong team in the group stages. So in the beginning of the season, I think we're going to have a better start to the season. I think we're more prepared for the beginning of the season to Chelsea are, and I think that might give us the edge come the end of the season, where Chelsea are a little bit slow with their transfers, a little bit not prepared for the season, gives them a poor start to the beginning of the season, which helps us push ahead of them at the end of the season, because I don't think there's that big of a margin between the quality in the quality overall. Chelsea might have more quality players, but the way that we perform over the last calendar year to now, you can see that there's not that big of a difference between the 3 teams, and that might just be. I
don't get you, girl. Sometimes, honestly, like I respect you. Don't get wrong. No, I did, but you're also heading into another competition, and it's the same kind of thing. And if anything, Chelsea are used to it. Spurs probably will get knocked out quite early.
100%. Listen, it's a flippable coin.
And if that's the case, Conte is better league manager.
Listen,
if you're going to go by that, and he is a better league manager. He's just a better manager. He's actually better than everything. He's better than everything.
I rate.
Arteta's got nothing on Conte, bro.
Listen, you don't rate. Listen, all you keep doing is Conte. I've already said Tottenham are going to finish above
Arsenal. Exactly, because that's the relevant.
That's not the argument here. It's about Chelsea.
You're doing up essays, bro.
Finish above Chelsea. I genuinely believe Arsenal will finish above Chelsea at this moment in time, the 4th of August, 2022. I genuinely believe Arsenal will finish above Chelsea because they are less prepared for the new season than we are. We're going to a new season tomorrow, and Chelsea have not made some of their major signings yet.
Yeah,
They've only made 2 signings officially.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. It's the hope that
Let's not make
kills.
it seem like it's
ridiculous
to say Arsenal are going to finish
it's not ridiculous, Adele. I've got you lot finishing 4th. I've got Tottenham 3rd and Arsenal 4th, and for the same reason that Arsenal are in a way better place right now than Chelsea. Arsenal actually, like, you just got to be real. Chelsea right now, it's a lot of if, buts, and maybes. Chelsea didn't finish the season strong last year. They've failed to get in a lot of their key targets. They still don't know what they're doing, as in who they're going to bring in. I think Arsenal right now are ready to start the season. So are Tottenham. So for me, both of those teams finish 3rd and 4th. I still think the gap, like I said, and I'll stand by it, Tottenham will finish 10 points above Arsenal. A lot of people will laugh at me the same way they laughed last year when I said Tottenham will make top 4, and we obviously did that then.
So you're finishing at least 10 points above us, Patrick, next season?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Patrick, I'm with you, but then you have to be edgy and say that. I don't think 10 points is realistic because
I think it is.
When it comes down to it, Tottenham have improved. But what's to say that obviously it's going to be a weird season this season with everyone having their players going away for the World Cup in the middle of the season. So we're going to have to see. You do have some of your best players are going to be in that World Cup, and something could happen. So at this moment in time, I think we're going to be a lot closer than people think. I think 10 points, Tottenham to be ahead by 10 points is a little bit edgy in my opinion, and I don't believe
fair enough.
To World Cups as well, though.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same for all of us, really.
Jesus, Saka, not Martinelli. I don't think. Partey, I think he's in the World Cup as well. Is Gabriel gonna go? I'm not too sure. Who's the other? There's another one. I don't think Odegaard's in it. So Odegaard. Yeah, man, it's the same thing. And let's face it, that's your best. That is they're your best players.
I agree. It's the same for everybody. Just to get that straight, I'm not trying to take this.
The World Cup is an interesting one though as well because. Depends on how players feel when they come back. There's also an element if you have more players not doing anything and they're sort of sitting around for 4 weeks, they get a bit stiff. The players come back, they get the little break. They might still be in a good frame of mind. Yes, they could be burnout. How much time did they actually play? Did they win? Like if a squad like Boovy was saying last night, it's quite a lot of the England squad now in the Man City team. If England did a madness and had a really good World Cup, that could be a great thing for City because they get 6-7 players that come back. Equally, if it's disappointment like the last Euros, they could come back deflated. I mean, there's loads that's going on there. Just in the interest of time, we've got a lot of super chats to go.
Terry, can I give my top 4 prediction first?
Yes. I just want everyone to give it. We haven't got enough time to go through as much detail and debate again. But yeah, if you can give me your top, everyone to go through and give me your top 4. I
think City win the league. I think Liverpool come second. I wholeheartedly believe we'll get the players we need to come third. And I personally think, whilst Conte is a better manager than Arteta, I think Arteta will finish above him. I think he plays better football and his system is more effective against low blocks than Conte's is.
Interesting. You agree with me? 5th for Spurs. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm not the only
better
man
football, but we outscored Arsenal last year, and we played better football.
I mean, they didn't have Lacazette. They did have Lacazette up front.
Oh, come on, man! Like, there's a lot of caveats to that, but still, we still outscored a lot of teams.
It's just what I think of the
with
moment,
Conte. It's fair enough, but still, yeah.
Cool. Sorry, you're muted again, Gal. So yeah, everyone. My top. I'm also going to throw in this. I'm going to do my top where I think all the teams are going to finish. We all do that, so we just get it on record. Then we'll go to the super chats. Then we're going to do top goal scoring flop. For me, I'm picking Man United to finish 7th in the league this year. That's where they're going to be. Not ready. I would say not ready is the wrong word. Beginning of a rebuild, lots to do. We're not on the level of the other 5 members of the top 6. I think West Ham are going to have another good season. I think so. I'll go with Man United 7th. Spurs 5th. By the way, when I say Spurs 5th behind Chelsea in 4th, Arsenal 3rd, I think it's going to be very close, by the way. I'm not saying Spurs are going to finish 7, 10, 13 points behind them. I'm going to go with City 2nd, Liverpool 1st. Igal?
I am going with City, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea, then Manchester United or West Ham, and then West Ham.
Man United is 6th. Patty?
City, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea, United, West Ham, and then whoever after that.
Dom Hassam?
My crazy take of the day. City, Liverpool, Spurs, Chelsea, Arsenal, Aston Villa, Man United. Ooh. That's my exact top 7.
That's crazy talk.
I'm crazy, no problem. Top goal
Gerrard is not that guy, bro. I know you like him. He's not that guy.
I don't give a shit what you think. He has a higher win percentage than manager of the season, Marc Cucurella, so that's my guy right there.
Cat is what you're saying, bro.
You know what? I don't want it to happen, but I'm not flip flopping. I can't do it. I don't care for it. I just can't help but think City's gonna win the league. Liverpool, Spurs, Chelsea, then Arsenal, then Man United. Keep Newcastle far away from the equation. Don't get this Eddie Howe and their free signings hype. Yeah. Spurs, the slow block thing as well. You forget they got 20 goals in Kane, they got 20 goals in Son, and Kulusevski's a bit of a spark. They got Basuma to run the game a little bit more now, and they got actual wing backs in experience and a young baller in a Jed Spence. I feel like that's gonna, if anything, they're gonna improve massively, and you're gonna see a different side to Spurs, and I reckon they'll do well. And I don't think not the 10 points though. I'm not having that.
I still think so, you know. I still
up to you, but that's my top six.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, that's fair enough.
You've done yours, Roy.
No, I think City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, United, but don't sleep on Palace.
Interesting one there. I want to do some of these super chats because that noise again. Thank you to 1970 CFC for the super chat. Nothing said, but thank you. Terry, by the panel's logic, we won't take any banter since nobody is counting on Man United. Exactly. That's one good thing is there's no banter for Man United this year because you all said we're crap, so that's good. We can relax.
Bantered, let's be honest.
Sorry,
you're still gonna get bantered.
Yeah,
of course we are, man. But
it doesn't hit as hard when everyone says it. Only really works when people say you're going to be good and then you're not. Because if everyone says you're going to be bad, then you're bad. There is very little banter. In terms of grown-ups, don't get bantered by it or triggered because we've got brains. 5 points, by the way, 3rd to 5th. Spurs strong. Arsenal final building blocks and Chelsea tradition. I wish Man United fans this energy to United. Yeah, well, there's no point predicting United finishing in the top 4 when we're not going to. We won 2 Champions Leagues whilst being slept on, so carry on is what Grimey's got to say. Great point being raised there. It's only a joke about the brains, by the way. I know you've all got brains, but just some banter's dead. Chelsea are clear of both. We'll still finish 3rd comfortably with insane circumstances and a lame Lukaku, is what Moose Wizard says.
Comfortably, I don't know about that. It was not comfortable, but they finished 3rd, so fair enough.
You know when Usain Bolt, like he sort of like jogs over the finish line in 100-meter heats. That's basically what we did last time.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Exactly. Please don't do that. You were struggling.
That would be like me racing something annoying.
Arsenal choked playing 1 game a week, so we will see what happens when they have to play 4 games in a week. Well, 4 in a week, would they be 2 in a week? And they will get smacked back to 8th. What do you think of Spurs, guys? Obviously, we've kind of gone through that already, but thank you for the member chat there. Why didn't Conte win the Europa Conference League? Because he's only good in leagues, but he's still going to flop. I know it doesn't make any sense logically, but it is the truth. He's not really going to flop. He's just not going to be as good as Chelsea and Liverpool, Arsenal next year. The Liverpool fan thinks that just because his team won more recently, that their opinion and understand the football is better than others. I don't
think my opinion is better.
Sorry, not Igal. Hassan doesn't do that, but some Liverpool fans do. I've actually challenged a few Liverpool fans. Like, what makes you think you know more about football than everybody else? And they say, because my team's better. It's so weird. Jelly Spoon, thank you for becoming an official member. It means a great deal to us. Nobody wins the Champions League by fluke. Let's be clear about it. I agree. If City lose Silva, Paul's chances skyrocket. Agreed. When you have Harry Kane trying to give inspirational team talk, Spurs won't win anything. They just get a shower. That's all they get. Come on, we know Tottenham's history. Fair play. God. If City lose Bernardo, are they still favourites? I think a lot of us have said maybe not, but a bit of a leveler if that happens.
I think Liverpool edge it.
Yeah, I think City still are favourites even with that.
How much can Chelsea spend before FFP becomes into effect? Well, it's how much you lose over a 3-year period, not a 1-year period. So if you spend that amount of money and then make profits in the next by the end of the 3rd season of the new owners, then it's not a problem. So you'll be fine. Terry, really, Arsenal finishing above Spurs, stop encouraging this delusion. Ain't gonna happen. As Igal would say, come outside, Arsenal fans. That's very good. I like that.
Can I finally put that to bed? The reason why I said come outside was because there was no Tottenham fans on a 40-minute stream after a match reaction. Made no sense.
I mean, bro, you don't need to defend it. You just did it. Do you know what I mean? It's
in the heat of the moment. It was.
There we
Terry,
go.
I gotta go.
Okay, take care, my friend. Thank you, Emmanuel.
nice
Thanks for
one,
becoming a
Gal. Take
member.
care.
Thank you. Terry, how comes you never have any City fans on the top 6 show? Speak to KJ, not me. KJ does the bookings. I don't reach out to anyone anymore. That's his job, and they're hard to get hold of.
They're so damn hard to flipping find, people. Yo, give me the names. I'll get them on in it.
But you've got to be good. Like if you come on and you sit here and you're rubbish, you're not coming back.
Yeah, that too.
You got to be good. You got to be good. You got to.
And may I add KJ's shit at that job as well, because he only gives me 45 seconds to respond.
No.
You know, like KJ, let me address you. See right here, right now on the terrace. My man said, 1 second, I'm gonna read you out the DM. You know what he said word for word? You've got 2-minute response time. I told him even the police don't respond in 2 minutes. What if I'm playing? What if I'm eating? What if I'm doing whatever I'm doing?
Family. And then, if you're not ready for TFT, bro, that ain't my damn issue, bro. I send out the invite for certain people at certain times. If you don't get there quick enough, that ain't my damn fault, bro. You gotta be quick, boy.
In fairness, KJ's got a lot of work to do. I need to finish this show though, guys, because we're overrunning massively. I have to do this bit very, very quickly just to get the predictions in. Top goal scorer, Patrick. Tell me who.
Harry Kane, looking sharp, looking fit. We all saw what he did back in the last season. He's coming in. Kane and Salah will be neck and neck, but I'll just go with Kane. I have to.
Roy, top goal scorer.
Not Kane. I think Kane's game will be a bit more geared towards creativity again next season. So I'm going to go with his partner in crime.
Hey, son, like that.
Richarlison.
I think Ronaldo will get the golden boot.
I'll take that.
Interesting. Dom Hassam, top goal scorer.
Mo Salah, of course. All the talk about Haaland, this, Nunes, this, Kane, that. Mo Salah's just gonna take the crown again. Get 4 golden boots in 6 years. So,
Kaz?
Yeah, I don't know how we're still doubting Salah. He's been inevitable for years, and we still doubt him to this season. He's gonna have no World Cup, and I reckon it's going to be Salah's best ever season. So, on that note, Salah.
Agreed. I think he breaks the Premier League record this season, genuinely.
What, he's getting 33 goals?
Yes, sir. That's what I genuinely believe.
So, I'm going to give you my prediction. I also agree. I believe that the single season Premier League goal scoring record of 32 goals will be broken this year, and it will be broken by Erling Haaland. He will score 34 goals this season.
He won't play enough.
He's going to score the goal. I think he'll score the goals. He'll score the goal. And what he'll do, actually, by the way, he'll come on in games against bang average teams at the bottom of the league and score. He's the kind of guy that will just, with the way they create chances, he'll score 3 or 4. I'm not going to call it stat padding. That's the wrong word for it. He'll get between 14 to 18 goals this year against the shite at the bottom of the league as well. Like he really will. He'll just do a lot of goal scoring in that area. But I'm going 34 goals. Erling Haaland, top goal scorer this year for me. And then they're not going to win the league because Liverpool are going to win it, and it'll be even funnier. Player of the year. Who we going with, gents? Player of the year, Patrick.
Wow, this is a tough one, man. Salah or Kane? I have to. It depends on who gets the golden boot. So it's either of those two.
Salah or Kane. Roy.
I think Kevin De Bruyne runs it back.
He shouldn't have got it, to be fair. About all this run it back, there's no way he should have got it, to be fair. But yeah,
I think that he robbed Kane of the second one, but I think he will pick up his third one this year. And you know what? And I think it will get him the respect he deserves, because when we're talking about the best midfielder we've seen in this league, Kevin De Bruyne is in that conversation. And I know people call it recency bias or no one cares about see they're irrelevant. But when you look at his body of work, you cannot keep him out of the conversation. So another league title and Player of the Year award, and he's right up there.
Fair enough. Sam?
I think player of the season is going to be Bukayo. I'm just kidding. I think Mo Salah is going to win player of the season as well, as he breaks the Premier League record for goals. So, yeah.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah, he said Salah. I reckon Mo Salah. It's not going to be Jesus. It's going to be Salah. It's 100. If I'm going to say he's going to break the, not break it, but I think he has the best goal scoring record. His assist record is still best. If I'm going to say, dope. If he's still going to if I'm going to claim he's going to have his best season ever, then it has to be Mo Salah by that logic.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I was thinking about Salah. I was thinking about KDB. You're going to laugh about Saka. I think Saka could have a really good season this year and name be in the running. But if I'm going to predict somebody's going to break a goal score, he could be. I think I think
They said that last year, Terry, and he had an okay season. He started well.
I could end up with Rihanna. Many could.
Look, I think I know they did, but I think he had a very good year. That was a kid carrying a team. He's a year old.
Saka was great last season, Patrick. What?
He was okay. He was okay.
No,
We're
Saka
talking
was
about the
a
whole
great
season. He was
I
okay.
agree with that.
Up there to begin with, down there at the end.
But we give circumstances for Tottenham. Your bad start was because of Nuno. You know, every team gets circumstances. Saka has to have circumstances. This is a kid carrying Arsenal, and he's got more experience around him now. He's a year older. I think he'll have an even better year. But I'm not picking him. I think it'll be a name that I think will be mentioned. But if I'm going to predict someone breaking the goal scoring record, if Haaland does break that goal scoring record, there's no way they're going to give it to anybody else. They'll almost be forced into giving it to him, as goal scoring is the hardest thing to do in the world. That's my pick. Flop of the season from the new signings. Who's going to be the flop of the season?
Sterling. I just think that, you know, we all know how good Sterling is, but I just don't see him fitting into this Chelsea team the way Man City used to feed him, the way he had options. At Chelsea, he's got to be the main man. There's not really going to be people to create for him, and you're going to see his game nowhere near what it used to be. So for me, it's Sterling.
Interesting. Roy?
I don't actually think any of the new signings are going to flop, you know. I'm trying to think of who, maybe someone lower.
Probably someone from Aston Villa. Probably someone from
But they don't come in with a big hype though, so they're not really going to be a flop.
Then if I had to earmark someone out who could underperform, who would I say?
I've got one name.
You know, go on, Kaz. Come back to
Richarlison. I'm just going to say Richarlison.
Ooh, that's interesting.
60 million price tag.
He could, but his role,
60 million price tag. I'm telling you now, you have to live. That's flop. You have to put on the money spent, the club he's playing for, and what competition he's playing in overall.
What do you determine? You know, the price tag is 60 million. I hear what you're saying, but what do you determine a good season then for him?
Richarlison, when he comes, I'm not joking. For 60 M's, when he comes off that bench, he best be performing. That's what I'm saying.
Are we putting numbers to it? Like he has to get at least 10 goals and 5 assists?
No, because we can't do that right now because I don't know how much he's going to play.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But if he does play,
I think you have to though. When you cost £60 million, I don't care if you're starting on the bench. That by definition, and you don't force your way into the first team in the season, that makes you a flop. No one spends £60 million to warm a bench. You spend that on a player that you expect to break into the first team. You have to.
He needs 15 GA.
Name me a player in the history of the Premier League who a club spent 60 million on, whose sole purpose was to be a bench player.
No, you're right. He has to. It's a difficult one, isn't it?
He needs double-digit goals.
If he doesn't force himself into the first team and start regularly by November towards the end of the season, that by definition makes him a flop.
I can't lie. I can't see that happening.
Actually, you know what? No. I was going to say.
I think he gets 10 goals and 5 assists.
Might be a shout. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm watching Grealish I'm watching Grealish very closely because I think he's been terrible at City.
Yeah,
I'm watching him very closely.
I do get that, but then
again, in terms of new signings, I just want to give mine. Yeah, I don't really see flop when I look at any of the signings, but I think something about Lisandro Martinez tells me I'm a bit unsure about him. And it's not just because of his height.
No, I get that. Look, it's gonna it'd be an amazing year if United had a signing that didn't flop. Like to have one that doesn't would be like I'd actually want a parade for that. Like we always have one. I'm gonna go with Basuma.
Oh,
I'm joking.
Okay.
That's a hot take.
Harry, when are you gonna pull out your Arsenal shirt? That's mad. How anti-Spurs you've been today. That's mental.
No, I'm gonna go with Ivan Perisic. I think he's excellent.
Wow.
I think he's good. I just think I'm hearing people say world class, like left wing back. So based on the logic of him being world class, I'm expecting, and this is what I'm expecting from him. So flop is based on what you expect to what you get. Okay.
Yeah.
So most Spurs fans and shows I've listened to have said world class next to his name. So I'm expecting Robertson levels of performances on a consistent basis. That's a world class.
I don't see why not.
I don't see why not. Fair shout.
I think we'll see a good Ivan Perisic. I don't
GA as well.
I don't. Yeah, which needs GA, needs chance creation. I'm going to go with him. I also feel like I've also got a little bit of a feeling, and I don't want him to. I've just got this feeling that Eriksen ain't going to do much at Man United. I'm starting to get it.
Yes.
I'm getting a gut feeling.
I hope you're right. I want him
to do really well, But I'm just,
Of course you are, Patrick, as a Tottenham fan.
I'm just not. I'm just something about it. I don't know. The last 2 days, I'm looking at it and I'm going, you know, like I'm so desperate for him to do well. It makes me think he's going to do badly. I've got to put it out there. I hope not, though. I pray to God not. But we will see. No, Terry, good shout there. Listen, Basuma's a player that I'd like to see flop at Spurs, just for a laugh,
I think he'll do well.
I think he'll do brilliantly.
You're bad vibes today, Terry, man. What's going on?
Very bad vibes. I've got 3 flops. Number 1, Longley, because he's a bozo, massive bozo.
He's
so
not coming. He's not coming with
No one's expecting Longley can't be a flop because he's already.
No one rated him.
I hear you. I'm saying get on a highlight compilation once every 2 weeks. Second, I think Jesus is gonna be very underwhelming. Third, I'm going for Lisandro Martinez as well. I throw it kinda. So one of those things.
Sorry, say that last one again.
Lisandro Martinez.
Didn't hear you. What was that? I actually think Lisandro Martinez is going to ball out. To be fair, from the back, definitely.
Yeah, I think he's underrated, man. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised at how well he does. He's somebody that will shock a lot of people. He's a good player, man.
I'll tell you who else. I didn't put him as top goal scorer or player of the year. I also think Darwin Núñez at Liverpool's going to have a really good season. I think he's being written off. I think all this compilation.
I think Núñez is going to ball.
He will get. There'll be compilation of his touches. There'll be some games that Liverpool may not win. Or where he's had a first touch that's bounced over his head and done these things, but he'll just score. And he's something different between him and Lukaku. Lukaku does have that bad touch gene as well at times, but Lukaku doesn't look like he wants it whenever I see him play in the Prem. He's always
has that dog in him.
A bit, yeah. Darwin
Núñez looks hungry. He looks
the way he celebrated that goal. That man's been on Twitter. That man's been on Twitter.
Yeah, he's definitely seen Twitter.
He's been on Twitter, but he's got that fire in his belly. But there we go, people. Listen, I appreciate you tuning in. Very long show tonight, nearly 2 hours long. Do me a big favor before you leave and smash the like and the share button. More shows tomorrow. Straight Facts in the afternoon from the studio. Live match reactions are back tomorrow. For the Arsenal game. Of course, we've got Gooners that will be phoning in. Rivals are welcome at full time as well because that's the nature of the football terrace. I'm actually so happy football's coming back. It's going to be great. But until next time, listen, Patrick, Kaz, Roy, Hussam, and a gal that's left us, thank you to all you viewers. You're absolutely brilliant. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. Hang on a second. I've got a super chat that says, based off of Terry's logic of the unexpected, I believe that United are going to scam their way to third. Expect the unexpected. This is the Prem. Listen,
you never know, man.
Deep down inside in my loins, I'm praying. True. Yeah, I'm praying for it. I don't think it'll happen, but I'm praying.